and gentlemen, boys and girls, at this time, please rise and remove your caps, while members of our military and its veterans are permitted to render a hand salute during the playing of our national anthem.
And here we go. Hello, one, hello, all, live from Paris South Field in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, folks. The semifinals, the Final Four, whatever you want to call it. The winner moves on to the show, folks, the state championship. The loser, well, it's been a nice year, and they head home. Does Paris South Field sound familiar? It should. Third year in a row, folks. The Bulldogs are there, and the season is on the line. Whole new Bulldog squad in front of us. This is going to be electric. Everything on the line. The Bulldogs have put everything together to get to this point. As the players take the field, I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner, Shane Belanger. We have Lisa Ann True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and we are bringing it to you. Folks, it has been since the 23rd of September. 49 days since this Bulldog team fell to an opponent. Since that day, they have grown and they have gotten better each week. They have added new things each week. They have only one opponent. They have two opponents in common with this St. Ray's team, and both of them, both the Bulldogs and St. Ray's, are 1-0 versus each squad. So that tells you nothing. I have numbers galore. I'll get to them as the game goes, but we are live and a good kickoff out of the end zone. Trying to beat the weather today, folks. A new start time. It was supposed to be 7 p.m. The Saints moved it up to 2 p.m., probably because they like to throw the ball a little bit more this year. They're not prohibitively a 100% throwing team by any means, but they do like to throw the ball. Passing yards per game, the quarterback Wolf averages about 130.6. Williams for the Bulldogs is at 98.3. Folks, I'm going to go down through all the numbers all day long. The numbers, just straight by the numbers, the Bulldogs edge them. They do. They very close, I'll tell you that. But the Bulldogs are on the field with the confidence of a 6-game winning streak at their back. And here we go. The Saints under center for the first play. Wolf out of the eye. Hands it to the deep back. And they're going right off tackle. They're going nowhere. Gorman wraps them up with a couple Bulldogs. McLeod on the bottom as well. Short gain on the play. That is going to be on the carry for the Saints, number 5, Fonseca. And that will set them up for a second down in about 7 yards to go. 8 yards to go. So like I said, I'd say they throw about 65-70% of the time. And the Bulldogs obviously got prepared for that this week. Under center again, deep back in the backfield. Lunged his way forward a little bit, got away with it, coming to the left side, finds a little bit of a hole. And that's number 22 for the Saints. First 2 plays from scrimmage on the ground. I have Aaron Julius Jr. highlighted. He's a junior running back and middle linebacker, impact player on both sides. As you can see on the replay, he runs low. Number 52, Andre Adams, and on the stop for the Bulldogs. I was watching a lot of the Saints in the pregame, and they were running a lot of intermediate routes. They were making a lot of cuts at that 7-8 yard mark, turning into a slant route, maybe an in or an out. Obviously, they had the ability, they were working down the field as well, but most of their routes made their cuts around that 7-8 yard mark. And that's going to be a handoff again, and this time bottled up spins and not going anywhere. Great job by the defensive line. Number 1 for the Bulldogs, Peter Rex, just getting in on the action, the senior. Upperclassmen heavy Saints team on the field. There is 29 upperclassmen, 16 seniors, 13 juniors. 4th down for the Saints, and the Bulldogs defense does their job, makes a statement to open the game, smothers the offense. Surprisingly, the Saints don't drop back for one pass. Got to be cautious at all times. A lot of hands on the field, a lot of senior receivers, and the kick. End over end, not particularly great, but does take a Saints bounce, get away from it, and it's going to track all the way down and be picked up right at that 40-yard line where the Bulldogs offense will take the field for the first time in this semifinal game. Winner moves on to the state championship versus the winner of Cranston West and Portsmouth. They will face off tonight at 7 p.m. But, folks, we got it right here. Right now, the Bulldogs team takes the field, stops the Saints' first drive before it could ever get started, and now they have great field position to start, and we'll see what Coach Dunbar cooks up to start this thing off. The Bulldogs break the huddle. Tuck in the backfield, out of the gun. Rex this near side. And we have motion, that's Gorman. Takes the snap, and it's going to go to Tuck. And he gets bottled up trying to fight his way to the original line of scrimmage and actually squirms his way forward for a gain of a yard. That was one heck of a tough yard for Tuck. And as I said, both of these teams' numbers, folks, they match up across the board, and that goes as running total yardage per game, passing yardage per game, rushing yardage per game. Zach Tuck has a good advantage over the Saints, 107.8 yards. Julius Jr. for the Saints, 74.5. So that's a distinct advantage that the Bulldogs possess. And trips to the far side, Tuck in the backfield. Motion coming over Fazaro. He'll track his way back. And it's going to go to Tuck on the open side. And he finds a seam right up the hash, and that's right near the first down marker. It's going to make it 3rd and about a yard to go for the Bulldogs. Biggest play for either side. Nice block by Adams. Gorman, everybody on the action. McLeod takes care of his defender as well, as you can see on the replay. So this Bulldog team with a chance at the first down of the game, and really setting the pace at the moment, which is what you want to do as a road team. Once they flip the time of the game, in my opinion, they lost home field advantage. You lose fans on the field. It's not a packed house for what should be a packed house. Semifinal, Final Four, folks. If this puppy was in Westerly, you wouldn't be able to get near the top of the hill. Bulldogs take the line, 3rd and short. You never know what's 4-down territory with Coach Dunbar. Let's see if they can take care of it right here. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Gorman near side. Gets a snap, and Tuck again. Cuts to the outside, he's got the first down and more. Lowers his shoulder, lunging across the 45-yard line down to the 44 in Saints territory. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. A little communication between the 2 receivers on the far side before the play for the Bulldogs, and come to the near side, and you see Tuck lower the boom. 1st down for the Bulldogs across midfield. Setting the pace. Folks, this is the 3rd year in a row, and it hasn't gone in the Bulldogs' favor the past 2. 3 times a charm. They also say it's real tough to beat a team 3 times in a row. Well, I mean, I don't know what kind of wisdom is behind that. That's pretty obvious. And a counter handoff, and the Saints not falling for it. Defensive line collapses, every one of them getting a piece. Number 44 for the Saints getting up as well, and that is Christopher Molina, the fullback on offense, as well as middle linebacker on defense. So they lose a couple on 1st down, 2nd and about 12 to go for the Bulldogs. Just a total collapse there on the line of scrimmage for the Bulldogs. And I have to mention one of the defensive linemen for the Saints, Bing. He has, I want to get to his total in a moment after this play. Out of the gun, twins to the far side, takes the snap, and again to Tuck. He's got a little bit of an alley, but they're doing a great job of hanging on. That's Moses Muse for the Saints, number 7. And you're going to hear more of him on defense. He's a senior middle linebacker tight end for the Saints. Probably their best all-around athlete, and they're wrapping up, and that's what you have to do to take down Tuck. Every tackle they've made, they're hanging on. Sometimes it appears for dear life, but that's what you got to do to stop that horse from moving. And now I'm looking at sacks, and Ian Bing, he is a sophomore defensive end. He's got 9.5 sacks on the season in 9 games. Now that is impressive, folks. Got to keep an eye on him. Trips in a bunch. Right on the left hash, out of the gun. He's going to roll that way. And he stops the throw. Out of the reach of the Bulldogs receiver. It's going to be incomplete and bring up a punting situation for the Bulldogs, 4th and 9. So their drive stalls. Good defense to start the game for both teams. Bulldogs will punt from about, well, the line of scrimmage will be about the original 44-yard line. Halfway through the first quarter already, folks. 2 possessions. The Bulldogs were able to get 1 first down out of it, and that's a bad snap. Great job picking it up before disaster struck for the Bulldogs. Huge play, and they wave it off. It goes out of bounds. Let's see the spot. And they're going to spot that. Waiting for the official spot on the mark. But the Bulldogs fortunate. The snap bounced its way straight back for the Bulldogs. That could have been a major, major problem. This is going to be one of those games that obviously the team that makes some more mistakes, but these teams combined at the moment aren't making very many mistakes. Now, I was watching the St. Ray's team early in the season. They came out the gates flying, and I had a feeling they were going to be a nightmare to deal with. And not that they're not, but it seems like they kind of peaked off towards the middle. They dropped their 2 games in the latter half of the season, whereas the Bulldogs seem to be climbing the mountain as we go. Peaking at the right time. Back to pass. First pass of the season, blown dead with a flag, and he had his man right up the middle, and that was Muse. It's going to be blown dead, and fortunately for the Bulldogs, if I'm the Saints, I don't even throw that ball to give the Bulldogs an idea what was being run, but they did, and now the Bulldogs can adjust at least to that particular. That's going to go against the Saints, that particular play. So the first pass dropped right in on the spot, right inside the hash, and most of their routes, they were running slants and in routes right around that area between the hash markers. They obviously did have routes towards the sidelines, but they were focused in the pregame on the middle. So they backed them up 5 yards. It'll be first down and 15 from about the 21-yard line. Saints break the huddle. 5:46 to go, first quarter of play, semifinal playoffs, Bulldogs versus Saints. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bring it to you, folks. And a draw, jet sweep more or less, to the far side, tries to get around the corner. It's going to be a gain of about 3. Nice job by the Bulldogs defense. Jimmy Powers and Eric Fazzaro in on the stop. Every team seemingly has that installed into their offense. That play was innovative back when I played, and now it seems like the defenses are doing a pretty good job. You really got to get a motion man in full speed, in sync with the snap, so it's bang, bang. You get the snap and the handoff in almost one fluid motion. Any kind of delay really allows the defensive end or the corner even to read it and step up and stay home. All right, out of a spread offense again. Back out of the gun. Drops back, looking near side. He fires it on a simple stop route. He's got his man, number 2, on the play. That's Robert Littlejohn, the senior wide receiver for the Saints. Now the Saints sport 3 senior wide receivers, number 2, number 3, and number 5. Number 5, the captain, Colin Fonseca. Scott Pallardy, number 3, and we just saw Robert Littlejohn, number 2. A lot of their routes are timing routes. They're bang, right off the cut, like that. Bulldogs did a nice job of reacting, but that's after a nice chunk of yardage was gained. First down, and they're a little shy of the first down. Out of the gun, number 22, Julius in the backfield, motion again. That's number 6, that's going to set up 2 wide receivers far side. He looks that way. His motion man again, and he makes the reception right around, or just shy of the first down marker, depending on the spot, and he's going to give it to him. So just enough for the first down, and that's good football IQ by the receiver, number 3, for the Saints. Scott Pallardy ran his route where it needed to be. And Daniel Wolf, the junior QB for the Saints, on the spot so far, and he usually is. He'll hit his mark, especially on these timing and stop routes. So the Saints are marching a little bit here, just shy of midfield. 2 first downs on this drive. 4:14 to go in the first quarter. From the 48-yard line, Julius in the backfield, Wolf out of the gun. And this time he'll hand to Julius. Coming to the near side, and he'll cut it up for a gain. He's still dragging. Gorman, make sure he ends that. And number 14, Sullivan as well. Number 14, Griffin Aldrich on the stop for the Bulldogs. Gain of about 4 for the Saints. So right now they're doing what they need to do. If they can gain 4, and Power is forced off the field for some kind of what looks like equipment, or he's bleeding from his elbow a little bit. Got to clean it up, get him back on the field. There's multiple substitution. In comes Michael Barton for the Bulldogs, the sophomore two-way contributor on the defensive and offensive line for the Bulldogs. 6th man, if you will, for the lineman. Gets a lot of good spot time and does a great job of it as a sophomore. So the Bulldog defense trying to clamp down here, needs to try to clamp down here. Only the second drive of the game, first quarter. 3:17 to go, back to pass both. Far side, out route, too far out it went. And that is incomplete, and that will bring up a 3rd down and 6 to go for the Saints. Big opportunity for the Bulldogs to stop what was a decent little drive for the Saints. What has been a decent little drive for the Saints. This production brought to you in part by the Wireless Zone, folks, your Verizon authorized retailer located in Dunn's Corners next to Duncan. Cell phone sales, service, and repair. Get an iPhone 14 as low as $3 a month with trade-in and service plan. All right, so the Bulldogs here, 3rd and 6. We have a little delay as the official explaining something to the far side. And there is going to be a timeout on the field. That is going to be a Saints timeout. And with it, we'll take our first break of the day. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, St. Raphael Academy's senior class will be selling 50-50 raffle tickets during today's game. I'll announce the winning ticket later on today. The senior class 50-50 raffle ticket being sold, and we'll announce the winning ticket before the end of the game.
And back to the field we bring you, folks. Biggest play of the game so far. 3rd and 6. Defense is ready. Saints still working out of their timeout. Now, a couple of numbers the Bulldogs have. On the season, we have the 4th-ranked rusher in the state of Rhode Island. That's Zach Tuck Jr. at the moment. Zach Tuck, he's a senior. Obviously, we all know who he is. 970 yards. He's going to clear the 1,000-yard mark if everything goes according to plans for the Bulldogs. He's going to need a lot more than that for the Bulldogs to be successful. 30 yards, and he'll have it. He already has a chunk. The Saints out of the huddle. Under center I formation. This is where you see number 44, Christopher Molina, inserted at fullback. Aaron gets the call far side, and he's taken down in the backfield, tripped up, I'll tell you, by number 1, Rextus for the Bulldogs. First contact in the backfield, and he is finished off. Powers on the far side. McLeod made his way all the way over. Nice job by the Bulldog defense. First real decision here for the Saints. It's 4th and 4 yards to go, about around midfield, 45-yard line. And the quarterback, Wolf, is in. Biggest play of the season so far. Final 4, 4th down. First quarter ticking away here, folks. Winner moves on to the state championship. Snap, looking near side immediately. Telegraphing his throws. Great defense by Eric Fazzaro, the junior. He has been there all year. He has been producing and improving all year. Look at that timing. Great defense. They're calling for a flag. Not this time. You can't blanket a receiver any better. And that route, by the way, folks, was run perfectly by the Saints receiver. Right just past that first down marker. He made that catch. It's a guaranteed first down. Not on number 33's watch. Great job by the defense for the Bulldogs. And now that's got to expel and produce the energy the Bulldogs need to kind of realize where they're at here. And I know they know full well where they're at because they've been here before. 3rd time in a row. That's unheard of. Folks, I have a history with this team. I'm rooting a little harder for the Bulldogs than I would be normally if that's possible. Out of the gun, trips near side. Looking over here under the rest, number 9, forces Williams out of the pocket, and a nice gain on the play of about 7 yards, making something out of nothing because Ian Bing, that sophomore, man, does he come off the edge quick. Like a rocket, he comes off the edge. 9.5 sacks on the year. That's over 1 a game, folks, 1.1 a game. Andre Adams leads the Bulldogs with 2.5, and Bing alone has 9.5, so got to keep an eye on him. Williams was able to get out to the other side and make it happen, and the spot gives them about 7 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 3 over midfield. So this early start time, those first 2 drives, maybe that was kind of feeling each other out, shaking out whatever they needed to. Both teams are ready to roll here, and the Bulldogs are on the move. Fazaro in motion, slide back. Rolling this way is Williams. They double teams Bing off the edge. They do a nice job. It's in the air, and it is caught on the near side. And let's see the spot. Nice pass and catch. Number 3, Luke Nelson, the junior, for the Bulldogs. And that is going to move the chains. And the Bulldogs strike in the air. Bulldogs are going to have to do it in the air and on the ground. They've proven fully capable, folks. 6 games in a row, they have come out victorious. Like I said, it's been since September 23rd, a span of 49 days that this Bulldog train has been a-rolling, and it's been gaining cargo each stop, getting better, adding plays, adding personnel, and the personnel on the field improving. They had some young inserts into that offensive line that needed playing time. And the stretch to tuck. Inside the tackle, he'll gain about 2 on that one. Brings up a 2nd down and about 8 for the Bulldogs. Off the right hash is where they'll set up. So when you look at numbers in the state, the receiving yards, the number 2 receiver in the state of Rhode Island, that includes Division I Ethan McCann Carter for the Saints. So he's got 517 yards. Receiving, the Bulldogs are going to have to keep an eye on him, obviously. I have him highlighted. Moses Muse, total points. He's number 14. Not that high of a number, but the highest number. He's got 54. Zach Tuck for the Bulldogs alone has more than that. To the line, the Bulldogs. 2 wide receivers far side, 1 near. Hill inserted in the backfield for the Bulldogs. Williams, cadence. And he's going to give it to Hill. And he's going to cut it back up the middle, and he squeezes his way through a nice little lane. That's what he's good at, good for about 4 or 5 yards on that play. He doesn't need a lot of room, and he's got a lot of burst of speed. We've seen this Bulldog special teams. Holy cow, have they produced in this win streak as well. They were on, at one point, had 3 kickoff returns to start games for touchdowns. But as far as field positions, changes, everything that goes along with kickoff and kick return, punt and punt return, extra points, the Bulldogs have improved as the weeks have gone on, and that's exactly what you need to do to be prepared for this moment here today, whether it be 2 p.m. or 7 p.m. Near side, number 3, Luke Nelson. And we have a timeout on the field. This time it's for the Bulldogs. Correction, that's the end of the first quarter of play. No score. The Bulldogs on the move. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio. We're going to take a quick break and be back for the second quarter. And here we go, folks. Quarter number 2. That's 1 down. One team only has 3 quarters of action left. And I know they know that. I hope they realize that. The Bulldogs on the move. They had a big defensive stop. If you didn't see it, the Saints went for it on fourth down. The Bulldogs stepped up, took possession, are on the move. It's third and short, third and about 1. They got the ball just outside the 25-yard line. Under center, out of the eye. Aldrich at fullback. Gorman in motion. Tuck deep, and he'll roll to the far side. And he's looking, he's going to go down the field. He's got his man in field, and he does. The outstretched arms of number 3, Luke Nelson, touchdown, Westerly. And everybody thought that it would be the Saints to draw blood through the air, possibly to strike first blood. Not the case. It started with the defense for the Bulldogs, and the offense answers through the air. Williams to Nelson, what a catch, and a beautiful throw on the run by Williams, where only Nelson could get it by his outstretched arms. Bulldogs set up for their extra point, and holy smokes, we are now off and running. Number 11 for the Bulldogs, Drew Petroska. The hold, low snap, gets it up, and we're waiting for the call. It is good. And that all-important point goes through the uprights and the Bulldogs. 7. The Saints get set to return on their home field trail to this Bulldog team. And that touchdown, that first touchdown of this game, folks, I was a player. And I know if I had a 2-game losing streak versus a team to go on their field, especially with the alteration times, with all of the factors. To draw first blood is to take away any advantage that the history of the 2-game losing streak the Saints had, or home field, or possible time change, weather. I don't care. Bring on the weather. The Bulldogs jumping out to the 7-0 lead nullified all and any advantages on the side for the Saints. Now the Bulldogs set to kick. And this production brought to you, folks, in part by Strategia, website design and search engine marketing designed for your local business. Go to strategia.com for more information. The whistle, and number 7, Drew Bozek, set to kick for the Bulldogs. And we got to remember number 33, Eric Fazaro, huge tackle on defense on fourth down by the junior, who has been contributing huge during this winning streak. Already making his mark on this one, and nice job by the kick team. Takes down number 5, Colin Fonseca of the Saints, at about the 33-yard line, where they'll get started trying to answer, trailing 7-0 on their home field. And the Bulldogs keep this train a-rolling. Can they keep it moving? 11:39 to go in the second quarter of action. Semifinal playoffs winner heads to the state championship, folks. Their opponent, Cranston West or Portsmouth. That'll be determined tonight, 7 p.m. They're going to play through or postpone or do whatever they got to do. The Saints wanted to play early, so the Bulldogs came early, and they scored early. Back to pass Wolf, out of the backfield, swing. He's got his man, caught up and breaking a couple tackles, gang tackle, but a good gain on the play. And that's almost a first down, gain of about 9 yards on the play for the Bulldogs. For the Saints. And he hit him in motion correction, and he caught it in the backfield. He gained about 9 yards, but only about 5 from the line of scrimmage. In with the play for the Saints. And let's see if the Saints go into some kind of are they going to go into any kind of a panic mode? They haven't trailed to this Bulldog team in this scenario at all. Daniel Wolf was on the field for this rivalry last year, so it's not like these Saints don't know about it. Moses Muse as well. It was a war last year. Let me tell you, back to pass, looking far side, up the sidelines, and he doesn't get past the safety, forced out of bounds. No flags on the play. Great uncatchable pass, and that's Williams and Fazaro on defense for the Bulldogs. And his throw, bracketed by the Bulldogs defense. No space at all to work with, as Fazaro was underneath and Williams just had him coated, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 3 from the 40, their own 40-yard line. I never really understood why you'd put the added energy of running the length of the field back and forth with your quarterback every single play. That's what Daniel Wolf's doing. I mean, it's been done for eons, and it's not done so much anymore. But he is doing it here today, and that's a lot of extra yardage. And there's a timeout on the Bulldogs side. They don't like what they see, so they call a timeout, want to protect their lead, make an adjustment. Folks, I am the voice, Greg Moreno, alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa and True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing you semifinal, Final Four action. Bulldogs on the road, Paris Southfield, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, versus who else? The St. Raphael Academy Saints. This is the third year in a row. The season has been on the line right here versus this team. Hasn't gone in favor of the Bulldogs the last 2 times. In fact, I did a lot of research, folks. It took me a long time to find out when the last time this did go in favor of the Bulldogs. And the last time I found it going in favor was way back in 2011. Now, mind you, there was a huge gap in time where these two teams never met during that period because I went year by year. So I don't know if I missed one or not, but it's been a long time. They're 3-1 in their last 4. I do believe they've only played 4 times in a long period. At least that's as far as I can find. That means nothing here. 3rd and 3. I'm done rambling. They're done with their timeout. They made their adjustment, and the Saints are out in a different formation. They came out in trips to the far side, now only 2 wide. Motion to the backfield. Hands it off. Number 7 has it, and he chugs his way forward. Nice run by Moses Muse, working his way. Initial contact in the backfield. He surges his way forward for a gain of a nice 7 yards across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Saints, and they start to move here on offense a little bit. Still haven't gotten in sync through the air, and if the Bulldogs are able to keep the Saints out of sync via the pass game all day long, then they're going to win the game. Bottom line, I don't think the Saints can run alone. Spread offense, spread set anyway. Straight drop, looking to the near side. Hasn't looked off the safeties yet, down the near side. And he had Williams by maybe a step. If he dropped it in perfectly, he was looking for number 17. I have him highlighted, Connor Curran. I was watching him in the pregame. He's also an inside linebacker, wide receiver. Overthrows him. There was a little bit of space there. And what I'm noticing, what I'm not really all that impressed with, is that Wolf, he's definitely telegraphing his passes. He's looking right near where he's throwing the ball. So he hasn't looked off his safety yet, or attempted to anyway, but that could be a tactic. He could be setting them up as well. I'm going to watch that as the game progresses. That's something obviously the coaching staff and the DB is going to watch as well. Again, 4 wide, 1 man in the backfield, and that's going to be Julius for the Saints. 2nd and 10. Straight drop. He does look him off this time. Down the near sidelines. Same play, out of reach again. Same play, same receiver this time. He looked it off for a tick just to see if he could get a little extra room. He didn't get that extra room at all. Still overthrew him by about a yard. Unable to make connection, as you can see on the replay. It'll be 3rd and 10. They saw the space on the first down attempt. They went for it again. I don't think we'll see it 3 times in a row. And as a Bulldog team, I mean, obviously it's easy to be a coach on the sidelines and from the stands and say drop back yard or something like that. That's not how it works. It is a situation that will be tended to as this game progresses. So far, no problems. 4 wide. 3rd and 10. Wolf out of the gun. Bulldogs come. And he goes to the far side, quick hitch route. He's got his man, gain of about maybe 6 on the play. That's going to bring up 4th down just over midfield for the Saints. What do? First time they were here, almost exact situation, they went. Will they go again, trailing by 7? More than likely. A little hitch route. He only had about a 4-yard gain, gained about 2.5, 3 yards after the reception. Good defense overall. They are going to go for it because they figure if they run that same play again, it'll be good for a 1st down. Coming out again, 4 wide. Keep an eye on number 7. Keep an eye on number 6. Inside 2. Right around that 6-7 yard mark. Quick drop, throws to the outside. Batted down. Fazaro was way in. And it was number 2, the intended man. He kept an eye on him. And again, number 33, Eric Fazaro, blankets his defender. No way can you make that catch perfect. Pass defense, and folks, it was done on 4th down. Both times the Bulldogs turned the first turnover into a touchdown. What are they going to do here? Holy cow, did this junior come to play? And I've been saying that for 6 weeks in a row. It's not just this week. I'm not even that surprised. I'm just beyond excited. The Bulldogs on attack again, in great thanks to number 3, Eric Fazaro. That's great football IQ, great reflexes, and great athleticism. Stretch to Tuck. He's going to have to cut back, finds a little room, still on his feet. And he's still moving forward. They're going to let him go all the way past the first down marker. Are you kidding me? It takes the entire team. That horse just dragged the Saints organization to the 37-yard line. Holy smokes. I'll tell you what that is, folks. That's energy, momentum, passion, running over people. That is the love of this game. Look at this replay. How many Saints get in on it? And the Bulldogs will set up 1st and 10 from the 37. And there's still 9 minutes left to go in this second quarter. What was a quieter first quarter, it's kind of snuck right by. I was speaking to Shane between quarter. That is not the case here, folks. I am sweating. It's only 3 minutes in. The Bulldogs are moving. 37-yard line of the Saints, fresh set of downs. Leading by a score of 7-0 on the road at Parasol Field. 2 wide receivers checking in far side. Fazaro near side. And a whistle. And let's see what the situation is. And that's going to back up the Bulldogs. I didn't see the signal. Delay a game maybe. Somebody jumped maybe. I'm not quite sure. That'll back them up 5 yards. Give me a second to breathe, I suppose. But that is what comes into this. What you just saw out of Zach Tuck, that is football, folks. That is the epitome of football. That is everything comprised. Your teammates he was doing for, his passion of the game, all of the work for all of the years that have come to that senior being in this moment right now. And as long as they play in the moment here today, folks, they're going to move on to a state title. Out of the gun, Tuck again in the backfield. 15 yards this time, they're going to give it to him. He's got a little bit of room, and that's all it takes. Still on his feet, big gain all the way up past the original line of scrimmage, and another 5 yards on top of that. A gain of about 9 on the play. That's going to bring up second down, and about 5 to go for the Bulldogs. So Tuck makes up for it and more, and he came to play, folks. He's running like a truck, but you see him do that little wiggle where he gets skinny like a gazelle. So you got to watch out for both. He's got the stiff arm, I don't know, of a Bigfoot maybe, because he'll throw you to the ground too. He is a multi-weapon player, and he came strapped and ready to play. Out of the gun. Tuck behind, second and about 6. And he gives it to him again. Late give, and this time number 50 reaching forward, always falling forward. Tuck, let's see the spot, number 55 on the scene. Lawrence Thornton, the third, the defensive end, the senior. We haven't said a lot of his name so far. We've said it, but we know we're going to say it. 9.5 sacks in the season, you're going to say it. Also an extremely high tackle total. I got that in this network of papers I have here around me that made sense before the game. Now there's just numbers everywhere and the excitement in front of me. Out of the gun. 3rd down and a short 2. Hard count. Does he get him? A little movement didn't quite get him to go. Tuck's going to have it. He's wrapped up in the backfield. Still on his feet. Twisting and turning his way forward. And it depends on the spot. It's either that's going to be 4th and short for the Bulldogs here. He was grabbed in the backfield. And that was short yardage. You don't want to stretch too much. That just gives time. The Saints slant their defensive line right into it. Fortunately for the Bulldogs, Tuck spun his way forward to where he did, making this 4th down. Obviously, the Bulldogs are going for this. 4th down, and they marked him at a solid yard to go for the Bulldogs. Huge moment, the new biggest moment of the game. Biggest moment of the season. Under the gun, under center. Aldridge. At fullback, Williams gonna take it himself. He tries to get underneath and squirm his way forward. I don't like the spot on the far side. Let's see what happens. Both teams obviously pointing both ways. And I don't like the spot coming from the far side, and that's the one they're going with. Let's see if it's even a measurement here. They're looking at it, and they're gonna call in the chains, but I don't know. I'm not dead on the line, so you're not gonna get a You never know on that quarterback sneak. They tried to push him forward. He did sneak his way through a little bit, but that spot, those spots kind of are sometimes even a bit of a guess by the officials. How do you possibly see the relation of knee to hand in a pile like that? I'm not overly excited. We'll see. I can get there quick, folks. They pull the chain, not close. So the Saints make a stand on 4th down and stop the Bulldog offense. So the defense is going to have to get on the field. The Saints fans have an opportunity to get involved here, folks, but they're really not all that involved in this one. The Bulldogs have every opportunity here, folks. It's all come. I don't care that they didn't convert. They're obviously, I'm over it, and that's the way they have to play. They got to get over things like that immediately. Transition to defense. Most of these players play off both sides. As you see on this defensive line, you see Gorman and McLeod. You got 2 All-Staters in front of you. Mitch McLeod, eventually an All-Stater last year, another one this year, and to deal with that is difficult, but they take control of the emotion of this team as a whole. Jimmy Powers as well. Wolf back to pass. And it's blown dead. Generally, that means it's against the offense. They look a little frustrated at the call. And someone moved. That's going to back them up to 1st and 15. And that does frustrate the Saints on the field. You can see it. They're trying to move along quicker. That'll back them up. The Bulldogs will take it. So on the inside, on the front for the Bulldogs, Jacob Nieves and McLeod, the back to pass, under pressure from behind. Gorman slaps the ball out of his hands, and a beautiful job of keeping it free, Nieves. And I think the Bulldogs have it. I'm not 100% sure. No, I think they downed it, and they did. The Saints end up with it, but watch Gorman come from behind and strip. He was going for that strip. Look at Nieves knock 50 out, try to knock 50 out of the way. Beautiful play, smart play. The Saints able to recover, but man, if they back themselves up, this Bulldog defense firing on all cylinders here, folks. If you are just joining us, we are now moving along here in the first half. Only 5.5 minutes to go. Second quarter, Bulldogs 7, St. Ray's have it. Second down and a mile. Second down and about 25 to go. 24 for the Saints. Can they get it? Of course they can. They're a pass-heavy offense. They throw more than they run, especially when they're behind. And they don't need to get it all at once. And that's going to be a handoff out of the gun. And they're not going to get too much out of it. A nice job by the defensive front. Jimmy Powers will come out of the bottom there for the Bulldogs. And this has just been a team commitment, this Bulldog defense, during this winning streak. And you can just see they are using their entire body to throwing everything out there. I keep chiming back in my eyes to that run by Tuck on how that's a culmination of everything this Bulldog team has built. And it's really all on the line right here and right now. I mean, some of these kids that go off the field today with less points never get the opportunity ever to don these pads again and play this game again. Back to pass. Under pressure by Gorman. Flushed out of the pocket. Pointing his receiver, but he tucks. And he makes it up the sideline to the original line of scrimmage where he skirms his way out of bounds. So a decent gain on the play, and they're going to mark him back forward. So it's going to be 4th and about 8. And it does look like they're forced to punt out of it. Great job by this Bulldog defense. If I'm the defense, I make sure I run something safe against this punt team all day long, because he did make it a goable possibility. And the Bulldogs pretty much in the defense. Nice job by this Westerly defensive side of the ball, forcing the Saints to give it back with 4 minutes to go in quarter number 2. And the kick is up. And it's a nice kick, and beautiful St. Ray's bounce. He's going to field it. Williams, that is, to save any further damage. He's able to turn the corner and wrapped up and brought down, but a nice return of about 10, 15 yards there for Williams, saving the Bulldogs from being buried. They have it out at the 25. That really was a great job of catching it over his shoulder, because that was rolling hard in favor of the Saints end over end. So he may have had a 15-yard return to the 25, but that was way more value than the 15 yards. That would have been spotted way back. So the Saints defense is going to be at task again here. Can the Bulldogs offense do the in and out? And that's, I'll tell you right now, folks, score going in the locker room, score coming out of the locker room. They get the ball back. So if they have that opportunity, let me tell you, create some space. Again, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Coming out of the huddle with a 7-0 lead, I'm already out in the third quarter with 21. Out of the gun, trips to the far side. Tuck in the backfield. 3.5 to go here, second quarter. And far side, Tuck has it, cuts it up the middle, and he's got room, and he's chugging his way forward to about the 45-yard line, 45-yard line. A gain of about 14. And that'll bring, gain of about 6, and that'll bring up second down and about 4 for the two for the Bulldogs. My spotting's fantastic at the moment, folks. Second and short, we'll go with that. Trips far side. Tuck out of the gun. Williams cadence. Hughes stepping up on D. And nobody really goes on the same. Back to pass up the near sidelines. And he just overthrows his man, Bosick. He was hitting in the backfield. No flags down. And Bing almost gets there, does bring Williams down hard to the ground. And we said we had to keep an eye on him, and just in time, if you had that extra second, that would have made the difference on the pass. Third down and short for the Bulldogs. In my head, I'm thinking, what do you do on fourth? Bulldogs would much rather convert right here. In comes Williams with the play. Williams, another half runner to the sidelines each and every play. These guys seemingly never run out of gas. Trips far side, out of the gun, tucked behind. And it's a high snap, hand off to Tuck. And he's tripped up in the backfield. Frustrated he is. It's going to bring up another big play here for the Bulldogs as we're under 3 minutes and ticking. Wasn't able to turn the corner, which he may have been able to. And there was some defenders there, but I think he had another yard in him if he kept his footing. And that brings up fourth and about 3 yards to go for the Bulldogs. I don't know. I might kick if I'm the Bulldogs here. They're on their own side of the field at about the 43-yard line, and they're going to bring in Petroska. It's just too tough of a risk to give the Saints the ball right there and make it that easy before such a hard-fought first half by the Bulldogs. Low snap, gets up a good kick, and it comes down short, but takes the Bulldog bounce before it goes out of bounds. So goes out at about the 45. Not what the Bulldogs were looking for ideally, but it is more yards than if they hadn't gotten the first down. So off the side of his foot, and the Saints in business seemingly here. They have a good opportunity with the ball near midfield. It went out of bounds there, the 49-yard line. So it turns out that the call to punt didn't work out. Tough punt for the Bulldogs, and defense is going to have to hold it tight one more time. This Saints offense, high caliber, quick strike offense, has been stymied thus far by the Bulldogs D. Aaron Julius in the backfield, along with Wolf. Trips far side, looking that way. And he's going to go up the middle with it. And he's got two defenders. Beautiful D by Williams. He ahead of the intended muse for the Saints. Blanketed D, and this Bulldog secondary has been tested thus far, and they have been up to the task. Folks, this production brought to you in part by the Knickerbocker Music Center, live music venue located in historic downtown Westerly, RI. Enjoy delicious food, drinks, and live local music. Go to nickmusic.com for menu and schedule. So as quarter number 2 ticks away, folks, 1:59 to go. The Bulldogs 7, the Saints nothing. Saints have possession, second and 10. If you didn't know, it's the Final Four with a trip to the show, folks. Winner moves on to the state championship. Loser goes home with a heck of an effort in the books. Far side looking, going, hitch route, gets his man on the move. No, just out of the reach of his man, tried to get him on the move. This Muse stopped in his route. There was a little space underneath against the Bulldogs. Yeah, he would have probably had first down yardage if he was able to hang on. Unable to do so, brings up third down and 10 for the Saints. Big play here for this Bulldog defense. Wolf with the play. There have been several fourth down opportunities that have been gone for here in the first half. The Saints not necessarily needing a first down on this reception, kind of where I'm going with this one. They run a lot of routes with a cut around 7 yards. And there's movement on the near side. They blow it dead. Receiver a little excited. That's going to make it 3rd and 15 for the Saints. And that's frustration and any kind of momentum or energy as a crew, as a team on the field. You try to get moving forward, especially when you're trailing. When you have a mental mistake like that, frustration builds, and they're wearing it on their sleeves right now, this Saints team. They come marching in here with a 2-game playoff winning streak against this Bulldog team. But this Bulldog team comes marching in with no fear. You saw that way back when Central came to town, that Power 4 team, no fear. That was eons ago. And this Bulldog team has just gotten better and better. 3rd and 15. Big play here for the Bulldogs. And he hands it off to Julius, spin move, but he isn't going to get anything. Griffin Aldrich first on the scene for the Bulldogs, as he often is. And a class athlete helps Julius up on the play for the Saints. And the Bulldog defense does more than step up before the half when they were tested and they were needed. And they have protected this 7-0 lead with their football lives, folks, as they should. 4th and 15 to go. A little break in action as they come up with something here, as there's a timeout on the field, folks. By the numbers coming in, the Bulldogs had a slight edge on the field. They have played to a slight edge, a little bit better, I'd even say. They get the ball coming out of the half. They still have timeout, and there's a $1:44 to go going in the half. So they still have an opportunity to score going in and score coming out. When you have that chance, I mean, again, I'm talking about 3-possession lead. If they could just tack on anything here, the possibility of a Petroska field goal even. Let's see where they started off here on 4th down. Got to play smart as a kick return team, but this special teams unit has been playing brilliantly since that game versus Shea. Way back on the 30th. Of September. Low snap, scoops it up, almost got there, didn't, stayed off the kicker. Nice job by the Bulldogs, and it does get a Saints bounce on it. And it is a touchback for the Bulldogs. So the Saints unable to bury the Bulldogs. They will set up at the 20 with 1:41 to go. 2nd quarter of action, folks. Semifinal playoffs. Rhode Island Division II winner moves on to Cranston Stadium next Saturday at noon versus either Cranston West or Portsmouth. They're scheduled to face off tonight at 7. Who knows with the weather? That's why this game got moved. Essentially, to be frankly honest, the Saints wanted to play earlier because they throw the ball more and it's drier. I mean, both teams probably would prefer to play with a dry ball, clearly. And no team, I would imagine, between these 2 installments and additions of the Bulldogs and Saints care to play with a wet ball. Dry ball or wet ball, by the numbers, the Bulldogs come in rolling, and they have continued. Trips to the near side. Out of the gun, Tuck still in the backfield, as always. Back to pass, 3-step drop, flushed out of the pocket, and he's got his man a little high, takes a huge hit. Number 3, Luke Nelson, the junior, by number 3 of the Saints, just up under the chin there. Well-timed defense. You can't really call much. I do not believe, as you see on the replay, that was low, and that's how you take him down. On D, the Bulldogs playing similar defense that gets the pass. Kind of got hung out to dry a little bit, but that happens. And you see this Bulldog team, they do everything 100%, even if it's get hung out there. So 2nd and 10. That only took about 10 seconds. He had him a little bit earlier, just no real line of vision to get it to him. He kind of had to get himself out of the pocket, he being Williams, to get that throwing lane to get it to Nelson. And that time that lapsed allowed the defender to step up for the Saints. So we got 2 wide receivers to the wide side. And Gorman in motion, wide side. Stretch, and Tuck has it. He's going to cut back. Up the middle, spins on his feet, and taken down. Nice little gain on about 4 or 5 yards on the play by Tuck. So the clock is going to tick under 1.5. Third down for the Bulldogs, who are not in a crazy hurry. I don't blame them. Look at that spin off, too. It takes 3 touches to take him down. 3 players had to touch him to take him down. And that's Tuck's story. And I'll tell you what, he has showed up. No question in my mind, was he going to show up? But we've seen such greatness out of the guy for 2 years. And he just continues. And to see that one run, boy, is that a tape he's going to want to get a hold of to encapsulate a football career. That run did it right there for the Bulldogs. Zach Tuck out of the gun. Again, trips to the near side. Tuck deep. One receiver far side for the Bulldogs. Clock ticking at 40 seconds. And he's looking, and he's flushed out. Under pressure. And can he throw it away? And he is going to step out of bounds, I think. And he is forced out for the loss. Tough play for the Bulldogs. And he gets forced out before he was able to throw it away or get any receivers near him to throw it away, and he was out of bounds. So a big loss on the play. But timeouts are at a premium. I don't believe there's enough to really cause too much damage. Third down, clock is stopped at 26 seconds. That's definitely a negative play for the Bulldogs as they are backed up here. They got to get that thing ticking again. And it is 4th down. They're going to punt out of their own end zone. So this could have turned bad for the Bulldogs on every angle, starting from the punt. And do they get it up? No, it's blocked. And that is trouble. The Bulldogs fall on. No. Yes, the Bulldogs fall on it. And that saves the touchdown, Andre Adams. But the Saints will set up with the ball at the 5-yard line going in. And man, oh man, I was a down off. I didn't realize until the last moment that it was 4th down. And boy, did that go bad for the Bulldogs offense. And not even forcing the timeout out of the Saints on that pass play. The blocked punt. The whole half comes down. 7-0 lead, 26 seconds to go. Saints 5 yards away from having an opportunity to tie a half that the Bulldogs maintained full control of. And the Saints can essentially erase it. I don't mean to be over dramatic, but it is over dramatic, folks. Once I caught up to the reality of what was really going on and how negative of a possession, of a set that was for the Bulldogs. Under center, Wolf. And with the fullback behind him, the Bulldogs unable to take him down initially. But he doesn't get much yardage on the play. Second line of defense. And it looks like number 44 might be down for the Saints. And he is holding his knee. He is down. Not a big gain on the play. We'll get to the spot after. And we are going to take a quick break while the players do as well. All right, folks, and we're back, and it's a big moment here. Only 16 ticks to go. Bulldog defense that has played unbelievable football this entire first half. They're being asked to do it one more time. And boy, they're going to have to crash. Wolf under center. And he hands off deep into the backfield, and there's a whistle. And that might go against the Saints. And what a play for the Bulldogs. What a break for the Bulldogs. Oh, no, at that point, at Westerly. And the Saints are going to be the beneficiary of that one, and they're excited. Encroachment on the defense. And you know what? The Saints are going to get whatever they're going to get, 2 yards on that penalty. But if I'm an offensive player, I'm not very excited. I would have liked that play to have been able to run through. unless it's unabated to the quarterback and there's an encroachment call, generally you're allowed to run the play and then accept or decline. They were not allowed to do that, and who knows what could have happened. Let's see if the Bulldogs can capitalize on that little loophole that so far is allowing them to hold a 7-0 lead. That is 2 yards from in jeopardy. It's set up in the I. Julius in the backfield deep behind Muse. I've called him Irving several times, folks. My apologies. And some final instructions by the official. Not that everyone's on edge, everyone's excited or anything, but they want to, what do they, flip in the lineman form here as the Saints lineman flip. Not know what is going on. They get set to go here now under center. And it's a QB keeper. I was waiting for it. And he buries his way in for the score. And the Saints on the board make it 7-6. And that is just honestly, that's a horrible break for this Bulldogs team. It's a deflating break. And fortunately for the Bulldogs, it is going to go right into the half. And the only reason that's fortunate is because that is such a momentum grabber, such a momentum stealer, and a deflating scenario for a team to have fought an entire first half on the road, to have the ball, clock ticking under a minute and a half, first down, and have turned all the way around, and now the Saints are setting up to tie the ball game at 7-6. That's a huge flip. The break being it's late in the second quarter, it's going to go into the half at whatever this ends up with. Let's see. Big kick. Do the Bulldogs get in? They don't even really try. And that kick is up, and it is no good. Wide right, big mistake by the Saints. Bulldogs get the break. The kicking gods look down on the Bulldogs here. They will go into the locker room with a 7-6 lead while there's 13 ticks left, and the Bulldogs have it. That's a huge break there. But that touchdown, as I was saying, it couldn't have come at a better time because now the Bulldogs don't need to exactly regroup on the fly, on the run, on the field. It's halftime. They can regroup, take a breather, reassess, make whatever adjustments are needed, as the Saints are going to do as well. This Bulldog pass defense, folks, has been smothering, has been fantastic. They've tested Williams, they've tested Fazaro, they've tested those two multiple times to no avail. And so we'll see. It'll be interesting what or if how many adjustments the Bulldogs defense really makes. I'm sure that the line of the Saints are going to start coming out with some more exotic things to give Bing more isolated opportunities, because the Bulldogs have been double teaming him and doing a nice job of keeping him at bay, because when you don't, he's like a rocket off the edge. That's just one thing I've seen here in the first half. We'll get into more of that late in the half after our break. We'll see if there's a show at halftime. Right now ahead of us, the Bulldogs set to receive with a 1-point lead. 13 ticks left. It's a squib kick. High bounce. Oh, boy. I think the Saints actually recovered it, folks. And they're wrestling for it. Who's going to get credit? The Bulldogs should. I do believe Fazaro has it. And why wouldn't? Who's at the bottom here? And it went off the Bulldogs' back exactly as it was supposed to. And it went, cleared the 10 yards. I think it originally fell in the hands of a Saint. And the Bulldogs are going to have possession here. And there's 10 ticks to go in the game, in the half. So I don't believe the Bulldogs are going to go off with much of an offense here. I think they're going to take a deep breath and be happy with the 1-point advantage and the fact that they are receiving coming out of the half in the third quarter. The first half will go into the books, and Westerly, by the numbers, went into it with the advantage, and by the numbers, come out with a 1-point advantage. The computer even generates the score, folks, on some of these sites, which is pretty funny to watch. I don't know if it's like a video game or whatever it is, but the Bulldogs came out with a computer-generated 2.6-point victory. And a run by Tuck to end the half, and he makes 2 or 3 Saints wrestle him to the ground, as he has all first half long. So the story of this first half has just been hard-fought football, folks. Down and dirty, head-to-head, Westerly versus St. Ray's playoff football. You would expect nothing less than what we have seen here in the first half. Check mark to Westerly. That's going to be a deep breath just to hear that, folks. Third time in as many years the season has come down to this here at Parasol Field versus the Saints. Bulldogs did not come out of the edge in the first two. They go into the locker room with a 1-point advantage, and they come out getting the ball. So that's a huge deep breath and change of events from the first two. This Bulldog teams will go in with all the emotion that they need. And we are going to take a short break here, folks. I'll be back with all the action in the world. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio.
My first impression of Jessie was that she was really shy. They introduced us, and then I kind of just started asking her questions about herself. The more we talked that day, the more we figured out that we had more stuff in common.
Jana, the most important thing in my life. We listen to a lot of music. Well, we like to sing, like karaoke. Me and her like to sing like an opera pitch level, like soprano. We sing good.
It's like she just kept saying, I love karaoke. I love karaoke. I have a tablet. Do you want to sing karaoke? Like, what's your favorite song? Aerosmith. I don't want to miss a thing.
We were like rocking on.
Jessie is a sunflower. She blooms everywhere she goes. I'm pretty much like a gardener. That's how I look at myself here at the Frank Olin Center and in the world.
The Olin Center was started by a group of families that got together in a local library, and they said, we need resources for our family members who have disabilities. There's nothing available. When somebody's not getting services, that means that usually, especially in the children's area, that their disability can become more profound. There's a ripple effect. If we don't provide sufficient opportunities and supports, it does have an effect on the rest of the community. We exist because we want everybody in our community to live lives of purpose and live the life that they want to live. And we do whatever we can to make that happen. I really do see it as an organization of joy and purpose.
My mom and dad brought me here when I graduated from school, 1999. I think I was 15. I love being here. It's the most important thing in my life. because I'm learning more skills at the center, like safety skills, baking. I do a lot of crafts because I'm a good artist. And I got a job when Peter Gorman got me the info working at Bella Vita. That's why I met Maria. She's the most favorite boss, and I love the whole world. Love being here, being around with people that cares about me a lot.
I really enjoy what I do, and it makes me emotional because like it's important to see them make a difference in their lives. It's all them, and I'm just here for support.
I wish I could have everybody be a fly on the wall and just experience the camaraderie, the sense of belonging, the sense of respect. The Olin Center is a story of empowerment. It's a story of caring. It's a story of inclusion.
It's more than just a job or a career. It's changed me in a way where it's given me hope to know that like there's good out there.
I wish I could help people really see the difference that they make in people's lives when they support an organization like the Olin Center. It's just fundamental, the changes that they can help to make. It is our friends, our neighbors, our siblings, and they have as many and as diverse needs as you and I do. And we're just here to try and help fulfill those with the support of the community.
Do you think the Olin Center has changed your life?
Changed my life, yeah. Being the next chapter in my life makes me feel good. I want to be here for the rest of my life.
To support the work of the Olin Center and learn more, please visit our website, olincenter.org.
I was down there. I didn't see who got it, but apparently they got it.
Purple was on it before. And then it came up with
This is where you see who the true fans are.
Bring a wardrobe change. That's how you know. I had a whole plan. I called Sky. Go, should we go set up tents early?
All right, and here we go, folks. We are off. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner, Shane Belanger. We have Lisa and True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and we are about to bring you the biggest half of football you ever seen. This is just intense, folks. I'm going to try to get you the feel of this game, the pressure these players are playing under right now. There's no words that can truly describe it because of the sport that they are playing. A group of these young men are never going to don these uniforms again. They're never going to don the pads again. And the squib kick bounces high, Hill has it. And it is secured at around the 35. Nice little return. And he goes down at about the 36, 37-yard line. Not bad starting position for the Bulldogs. So first half goes to the Bulldogs by a score of 7-6. It's funny, I mentioned how the numbers were very close. The Bulldogs had the advantage in how they did that little computer breakdown. Well, they had the Bulldogs winning by 2. At half, they're winning by 1. Let's see how far they know this game's going to go. But anyway, what I'm trying to get it down is the fact that these two teams have worked so hard, and 1 point separates them. There's 2 quarters to go, and that is it for one of these groups. Revenge on the minds of several of these Bulldog players who have been on the losing end of this streak. On the field, on the bad end of emotions, walked off with your season end. And he gets a snap. He is going to pitch it out to Tuck this time. First option we've seen, and it gives Tuck a little bit of room on the outside. Not much of a gain on the play, maybe 2. For, like I said, adjustments at the half abound, I am sure. The Bulldog defense, fantastic job in the first half. And the Saints team wants the crowd into it. They want to get their home field back. Bulldogs, conversely, want to stretch it to 8. Trips, far side, tuck in the backfield deep. And he gets a long snap. He's going to play action, roll far. And cutting up inside, coming back our way. Got it tucked, and he is breaking tackles, still on his feet. And that's going to be a block in the back from behind on the Bulldogs. And that was a clear violation. And that's going to bring him back. So that positive play by Williams is going to go back. His first possession not starting out exactly as the Bulldogs wanted. That'll back him up 10 yards and replay the down. So this Saints team has, like I said, they've been up and down. And what I saw out of them early on in the season, it looked like it was going to be a monumental feat to be able to compete with them. And they sort of plateaued and have maintained that area. That last week they played a Shea team that the Bulldogs beat something like 47-7, and they won 14-6. So their offense hasn't been clicking on all cylinders, and they only have 6 points more or less because we gave it to them. We put them giving the ball at the 5-yard line. What else could they do with it but score? And they still didn't manage the 7th. So as far as getting the ball into pay dirt, it's much like Cumberland. They have the yards and they have the players. Just of recently, they haven't been able to transition those into points, where the Bulldogs have. The Bulldogs now have their back against the wall. It's second down. I mean, they're deep in their own territory. I don't mean necessarily back against the wall. Gorman to the near side, 2 wide receivers wide. And number 14 for the Bulldogs, Griffin Aldrich in motion, rolling that way. And he's going to have to bow back. Rolling, coming from behind. He's going to throw it out of bounds. And he will get at least the ball off. And that was close. He really tiptoed the sideline before he got it off. There was nobody there. And out of all of the rolling to have nobody there, he really had no body positioning where he could have thrown that without either getting absolutely killed or having it kind of just up for grabs somewhere in the middle of the field. He wisely got rid of it. And that's going to bring up third down and long for the Bulldogs here on what is turning into not what they wanted out of the first possession here. Let's see what they have cooked up for third down. And the crowd is definitely more involved than they were in the first half. The chance of defense here at Paris South Field. How do the Bulldogs react under the most pressure, face it, they've ever played in? This is as far as this group has ever made it. Same team, same colors. More desire on this Bulldog squad. I don't think desire is the question. And he holds the option up the middle. That's not going to get him really anywhere. So they're going to punt from deep into their own territory. He's probably going to be set up just outside the 5 to kick. And that's probably going to give the ball near midfield to the Saints. And that's if the Bulldogs get off a pretty decent punt in a small return. And the Bulldogs' choice to punt, which looked like it would have been the safe option there in the second quarter, turned into what was not the safe option as it caromed off the side of Bozek's foot near midfield. So let's see if that can get squared away. Quick snap as to not get a block. I love that call. And he gets it up, and it's going to fall into the hands of a Saint, number 6, and nice job by the special teams. Number 5, Hill, and number 14, Griffin Aldrich. Take him down immediately without the opportunity of return, right at midfield, right where I said it was going to be if the Bulldogs got off a good kick and a good stop on return, and they did exactly that. But still, the Saints have it at midfield moving forward. 49-yard line, trailing by 1. They're the last team to score, so if there is such a thing as momentum here going out of the half, I don't believe in it. You start fresh second half. The Saints have it here. They've stopped the Bulldogs now, and they, to me, have not proven that they can sustain a complete drive. They haven't done that really yet. Let's see what they do, coming straight to the line here. And they're going to come out with trips to the wide, trips to the near side, 1 out wide. Number 22, Julius, who I've called Irving mistakenly several times here in the first half. I'll do my best not to make that happen again. Bunch here on the near side. Let's see if Wolf goes into a more throw-ready offense here in the first half. They haven't been able to get into a groove running, so it hasn't really allowed their receivers much extra room. The Bulldogs secondary has really been able to clamp down. And officials trying to get the right amount of time on the clock. Well, we have a fighting chance of defense and offense in the stands. There is less than 2 quarters to go here, folks. It is just playoff football everywhere you look locally. We'll tell you more about that later. Wolf out of the gun. Bunch near side. He's looking near side. And he's going to go down the hash short and nobody there. Behind one man, a little miscommunication. It looked like the Bulldog was on the back of everybody. Nice coverage around for the Bulldogs. And that was a timing route. Pretty much 1-2-3 release type deal for Wolf, it looked like. And the receiver just wasn't there, was not in sync. The Bulldogs will set up 2nd and 10 here. First St. Ray's drive of this second half. Bulldogs defense has done a great job in the first half. Can't leave all the pressure on this D. I don't think 7 points is going to be enough. I think we are in for one heck of a second half here, folks. I'm just trying to save my voice as we roll on here. Quick snap. And they got bad throw behind again, low and away from Wolf. Again, tried to time it, and it's just not there. 1-2 throw, and he's just not hitting his man. His man is not where he wants him to be when he's releasing the ball because he's throwing it where he wants to. There's something that's they got to fix there. And with only 2 quarters to go and on the fly, that's something you like to see if you're a Bulldog or if you're a Bulldog coach from the sideline. Whenever you see timing routes and stuff like that not in sync by a throw-heavy offense, that's a beautiful thing to see. Again, trips far side, out of the gun, force themselves in a throwing situation here, 3rd and 10. Bulldog defense lays back, trying to get a rush, unable to do so, deep up the far hash, and they overthrow their man. They had a man deeper than anybody, but overthrow the shot again. They've had about 3 shots on deep throws, and the Bulldogs have been around, but a perfect throw would have been able to drop in. That was way over, and actually at number 34 coming in with a good angle. If he did drop it in the spot that he needed to, I do think that the Bulldog Sullivan would have changed the gap and broken up the play. Either way, the Bulldogs defense stands tall. First half stop. Second half, first stop. And the Saints forced to punt. Don't think for a moment they are not afraid to fake, and don't think for a moment that he won't go to the ground and try to force a flag. So if you're not going to block it and you're a Bulldog, don't get near it. And they don't. I like it. Step back for now, get the ball. And a beauty, what kind of bounce does it take into the end zone? Just into the end zone for a touchback, and the Bulldogs will set up shop for their second possession of the third quarter here. Bulldogs 7, Saints 6. We got action for you, folks. Semifinals. Winner gets a ticket to the show, the state championship, next Saturday, Cranston Stadium at noon. Football playoffs everywhere, folks. If you don't get enough here today, Sunday, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, Old Hopkinton Road, Pee Wee football field, the micros, the seniors, semifinals, same scenario, except they win, they go to the Super Bowl, and that's at the high school. All sorts of excitement the next couple of weeks here in football. Right here, right now, what matters most are Bulldogs. Second possession, 1 point lead out of the gun. They got 2 for us to the near side. Gets the snap quick, it's going to tuck. And he's going to go between guard and tackle and again fall forward for about a 3-yard gain. Wrapped up again at the line of scrimmage. And Gorman slow to get up. You never like to see that, as he was wrapped up and rolled up by Bing, who's playing great defensive line. He can do it all. He can go from defensive end to defensive end, and he can track the quarterback. So he is one heck of a player. Only a sophomore. Man, he is going to be a feat to play around with by the time he's a senior. Out of the gun again. Gorman in motion. Slight adjustment by the Saints D. Handed off to Gorman's motion. He made a nice block off of it, and that's what gave Tuck the room to get what he got. He got about 4 or 5 more for the Bulldogs on the play. That was a nice block by Gorman off the motion. Essentially a pulling motion for the Bulldogs. Led the play out and created a nice little running lane for Tuck, and that's a great job by number 6 for the Saints. I got to say, that's Damian Ocampo, and I've said his number a lot. Really haven't gotten his name out much, but he hung on for dear life, and that's what they are doing to stop Tuck here from any kind of massive gains. He's having a day, folks. Let me tell you, he is having a day. Coming into the season, he averages 107.8 yards per game, and he is mudding his way to another 100-yard performance out of the gun. This one right up the shoot to Tuck, right up the middle where he is met by a couple Saints. As soon as 66 shows up on the scene, he ends it for him. That is Kamari Brown, a junior defensive tackle off the edge. That was actually the first defender that came in. And then the defensive tackle, he's a big boy. Bulldogs back, 2nd down and 10. They don't lose anything on the play, however. 8.5 and counting here in the 3rd quarter. 7-6, Bulldog, slight 1-point advantage. Playing for their lives, these two teams. And there is a revenge factor on one side. This is has turned into such a high tempo rivalry, so much on the line whenever these two teams meet. Play action, rolling, far side, nothing there. He's going to tuck, and he comes up, cut, misses 2 back, and the 3rd man takes him down at the hash. Nice run by Williams. There's something down. We'll see what's going on the field. And that, unfortunately, may stymie the efforts of the Bulldogs here offensively. I didn't see it. I saw the flag come down in an area of a blocker, but I didn't see a bad block, but it doesn't matter what I saw. They saw a personal foul against the Bulldogs. And it's a 10-yard penalty, and it's going to be 2nd down off the lips of the referee. So I'm not sure what variety of personal foul it was. I honestly am not familiar with the hand signal, the gesture that official made, and I thought I was familiar with all of them. Well, that's going to back the offense way up. I know that. I'm familiar with what it means when they put the ball way back there. And the Bulldogs really need to get the ball on the other side of the field, even if it's just to get the ball towards midfield, even if it's just to assure that the Saints start on their own side. Right now, the Bulldogs, field possession-wise, are definitely have the short end of the stick here in the 2nd half. The defense and the official for the Saints have been tough here in the 3rd quarter. 8 minutes and running. 7-6 lead. Heels on the goal line. Williams, his own goal line. Back into the end zone. 3 steps, and he goes up the hatch with it. And down it comes out of the reach of intended Bozek. Good coverage from behind. That's Ocampo for the Saints again. He was there up to the task, and now the Bulldogs have 3rd down and long. And you got to figure if you're going to punt, you're going to punt from right around where he released that ball. If not further back, correction, you're going to be further back than that. So you're going to be out of your own end zone. Do you give it to Tuck and just try to get some room? What do you do? And this is where I'm glad I'm in my position as just the voice. And I don't have to make the decisions. I still have nerves. I get nervous, folks, for these guys. Trust me, I'm shaking before the game, and then I just talk so much it goes away. But, man, is the pressure. I relive it while these guys are under it. They're in it. Out of the gun, and this yardage, a short chunk, would loom so large for the Bulldogs here. And it's an option. He tucks early, and he is going to get held on to him. He still isn't taken down, and that is Muse, who got a handful of Williams, and that's all it took. And he is wrestled down at about the 13-yard line. And again, that means with the snap, they'll be just out of their own end zone punting, and again in position where a good punt and no return, or a good punt and a quick tackle is going to put the ball around midfield. And again, that's a great starting position if you're a Saint. The Bulldog defense seemingly is going to have their backs against the wall after this play. But first, you got to make sure nothing horrendous happens here, because special teams can get finicky. And they set up, the Saints are coming. And they don't block this one, they block the last one. And they may have even gotten a little slight piece of it. Not a good punt. It doesn't end up as a great punt. Didn't even punt for the 1st down. In fact, the Saints are going to start with it, and they are going to have it, man, oh man, at the 40-yard line, 35-yard line. Great starting position for the St. Ray's Saints, looking to take the lead, trailing 7-6 as we are halfway through the 3rd quarter. Crowd on the Bulldog side a little bit quieter. Saints a little bit louder. Out of the half, you got to give the Saints the edge at the moment just because they are keeping the pressure on. They're inching their way field position-wise due to the play of their defense. Their defense is backing up Westerly's offense a little more on each subsequent possession out of the first 2, and they've gotten the ball at their own 49, and now they have it on the Bulldogs 35. So field positioning has gone right along with it. Out of the eye. Motion, far side. They're going to hand it off near side. And there was pulling action, but nice tackle from behind after a short gain. And that is Julius on the run, number 1 on the tackle, Rextus from behind. And short gain of about 2 on first down. Maybe 3 with the spot. And he's stretching out. You got a tight muscle down on the field here. This Bulldog team seemingly needed something little to give them the spark. The Saints are going to head to their sidelines, as are the Bulldogs, as Rextus stretches on the field here. This production, folks, is brought to you in part by Wireless Zone, your Verizon authorized retailer located in Dunn's Corners next to Duncan. Cell phone sales, service, and repair. Get an iPhone 14 as low as $3 per month with trade-in and service plan. Strategia, website design and search engine marketing designed for your local business. Go to strategia.com for more information. And the Knickerbocker Music Center live music venue located in historic downtown Westerly RI. Enjoy delicious food, drinks, and live local music. Go to nickmusic.com for menu and schedule. So, folks, playoffs all over on the football field. We are less than 2 quarters left in one of these teams' season here. It has been mirror situations. This is the 3rd year in a row. This field, this team, Bulldogs looking for a different result. Twins out, wide side, handoff, and he's going to cut. And Gorman first on the scene, joined by a couple Bulldogs, including Aldrich after a short gain by Julius. As he makes his way up to about to a 31-yard line. Bulldogs do a nice job there. And that's going to make it 3rd down and a long 5, maybe 6 yards to go. I'm thinking it's 4-down territory. I don't believe they have much of a field goal kicker on hand. So that means if you're a Bulldog defense, you got to strap up for 2 more here. Out of the gun, Wolf. Spread offense here. Julius blocking back, looking on the far side, quick route, got his man. He's going to cut towards the middle, but it's 1st down yardage, and that is the route that I saw them practice so much during the pregame, that one right there. And they were actually hitting it better. They were hitting him on the run. He sort of settled there, and it's smart that he did. Found the little hole, and that's going to be, I do believe, a fresh set of downs. So the Saints start a march in here. It's 1st down and 10, just outside the red zone, 21-yard line, and this Bulldog defense never has been more important to drive. And the Saints come out spread. They like what they saw on that last look, and why not go for a quick chunk again? Their timing was right there. Let's see. Wolf's got it. 1, 2, 3. Look, nothing there. And he is flushed out. And the Bulldogs, he's forced to throw, and it's caught. It goes to the ground, though. I do believe it was incomplete. Bounced back up to him. They're giving him the catch. Let me see on this replay here. On the inside, it would have been tough for the official to see. Does that ball go to the ground is the question. And it sure does. Only at Westerly.live, Westerly.radio. You're going to get a high school game, and you're going to get a replay so perfect as that. That ball is incomplete. Good call on the field. 2nd down and 10. Great D by the Bulldogs. And on the spot defense, the Bulldogs really need to stay here. 3 more downs to go. Pressure has been applied firmly against Westerly this entire half. Bend but don't break defense here. Trips to the short side. Quick look down the short side. He's going down the seam. And he overthrows his man. Not much room there. Williams had him. And his man is going to go to the ground, reaching for his ankle. You'd never like to see that. Very active play for the Saints. They're going to call the coaches over, and we have another break in play, folks. We're going to take a quick one, and we'll be right back. And with a round of applause, folks, Damian Ocampo, number 6, able to work his way off the field under his own power. Bulldogs want to beat this team full-fledged, full squad. No one ever likes to see injuries. We want to see number 6 back on the field. He's been a big part of this Saints day today. Huge play for the Bulldogs defense, though. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, folks. 4:31 to go, third quarter of play. Only another quarter to go. One of these teams has 16 and a half minutes of football left in them forever. Out of the gun. Wolf calling out to Caden's got the snap. Far side he looks, and he's going to stay there. Pump fake. He's flush to the near side. And he's going to throw on the run, near side. And it is going to be 4th down and a decision for the Saints. 4th and 10. Great defense by the Bulldogs. As the Saints look a little bit flustered there, as they've seen their passing game, what they're so comfortable in, their timing routes all year long, and it's generally been there. And this Bulldog defense has done just such a great job of disrupting it and not letting it get in sync where they're able to grab 7, then run for 3, then grab 6, then grab 8, then run for 4. They haven't been in that situation, haven't gotten themselves into that rhythm. So they're going to set up an attempt to take the lead 9-7 if they're able to kick this field goal. Spotted at about the 29, means about a 39-yard attempt. Adding the end zone. Calls for it. Snaps there. It gets up. There's a whistle, though. Wesley didn't want to be too early there. And that came on one side of the line. It's going to go forward 5 or back 5. Pointing in Wesley's direction. 39-yarder. I don't even attempt to block it. You got to let him try to actually kick that rather than make it easier. That's for certain. Which way does it go? And that's going to back the Bulldogs up and make the kick even easier. A mental mistake, folks. And now what do you do if you're a Saint? I don't know if you can bring the kicker back. And they are going to bring the kicker back, but they just made it a whole heck load easier. And they're going to spot it at the 24, so from 39 to 34. I know it only sounds like 5 yards, 15 feet. And when you're putting that up through the uprights, folks, that's a lot. It's from his near hash. He's able to push through it. Possibly get a little extra leg on it. What a moment. The snap is high, and the kick is up and high and comes down, and it is no good, wide right. And just like the extra point, it is wide right, and the Bulldogs escape with the lead via the lack thereof kicking game for the Saints thus far. Okay, you're the Bulldogs. You're taking the field now with 4:28 to go. You have not had the energy or the momentum in this half whatsoever. All the pressure has been put on you by the Saints. Here is your chance right here. That took a little energy out of the Saints. That whole possession did. Frustration before the kick. You gave them a chance with 5 extra yards. They still couldn't convert. This is your chance to pounce now. And if nothing less, switch sides of the field. Bury them. Make them go the length of the field. You can't keep putting this on your defense. 1 point advantage. Season on the line. 16 and a half minutes to go. Out of the gun. Snap, quick hand off to Tuck. He's going to cut it way out and back up and inside. Nice little running lane, and he almost dropped that one. Didn't. It is tight. I don't say almost got it. Someone got to his bicep, and that is one tough thing to open up, let me tell you. He's a running muscle. But they did get to that and try to get to that arm, and Muse is very good at doing that. He goes after it every time. He's a big, strong guy, big, strong athlete, so Tuck knows that he's got to tuck it. So a good first down for the Bulldogs. They're going to be set up with 2nd down and about 4. Just a good offensive possession is what the Bulldog would need here. It's so obvious a statement. At what point in the season when you have the ball do you not need a good offensive possession? Well, you need it more now than you've ever needed it before. And out of the gun, the Cadence to snap again. Quick to tuck on the near side. Running on the same play, and he's going to bury himself forward. That's going to be enough to move the chains, I do believe. And wait on the spot, and yes, it should be. No, they're going to mark him just short, about a yard short of the chains, as you can see on the replay. They don't give him a complete fall forward. So it'll be 3rd down, I do believe, and short for the Bulldogs. They don't even need to cross the line, the 30-yard line, for the first down. They're going to come out of the gun. I mean, with 55 on one side and 66 on the other in the middle, that occupies quite a bit of real estate. And it's athletic real estate, at least the part of 55. I haven't watched much 66. They slant towards the play, but Tuck gets plenty still on his feet. They're trying to throw him backwards, which they are now. But with the forward progress, he'll have it by 2 or 3 yards. So that's going to move the chains, and one of the first downs may be the first down of the second half for the Bulldogs. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered here. This Bulldog team wants to keep on a marching and have the Saints not march home, have them walk home. The Bulldogs have taken this bus ride home. And it's not a fun one if you don't have more points than them at the end. It's just not a fun ride, folks, I promise you that. Bulldogs getting set, out of the gun again. A little confusion on the offensive side, a lot of confusion. As long as everyone gets set in the right allotment of time. We're going to go trips near side. Gorman, tight end, far side, out of the gun. And they're going to come here. Here it's an option. He doesn't pitch, and he finds a nice lot of room in the middle. Look at that escape ability by Williams up the middle. He was hit by about 5 guys and ping-pong from hash mark to other hash mark on a gain of great first down play, a gain of about 7 yards on the play. And just a first down yardage on the play correction. And that is just a tough player on the field. He is a winner in all categories on the field. And when you have that at quarterback, folks, it's easy to just get behind and give him everything you got because he gives everything he's got. When your leaders do it, and this team has 6 captains that have done it all year long, out of the gun. 2-step drop, flushed out. He might have got a piece of his face mask, no flag. He throws, he's got his man up the near hatch, and this room taken down hard, but catches Peter Rexton, the senior, on the run up the short hash and moves the chains again. I thought, no, maybe not. Almost on the replay you saw there, but way to throw on the run just inside the hash. Rexton does the rest. First down and 10, and the Bulldogs are a-moving. They are just touching the 40-yard line of the Saints. We are down to 1 minute and moving here. Third quarter of action. And the Bulldogs have arrived here in the second half. They had arrived. Look at what their defense has done. With their backs against the wall. 2 straight drives that the Saints started at midfield and one at the 35 of the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs gave up no points. And here's Tuck running like a horse. Spinning, bouncing, and falling forward for 6 off the inside edge here. And that's a nice gain on first down. And that's about 4 yards before he's touched the spin. And then finally, number 44 takes him down. Molina, the senior for the Saints, 6-yard gain on first down. And the Bulldogs moving to the 34. And there is going to be a little stoppage here. I don't know who wanted to stop that if you're on the Bulldog side of things. But I don't think any of the Bulldogs would want to do that. And it looks like there's going to be a timeout on the field, folks. So the Bulldogs look like they have made their adjustment. That's it. Not timeout on the field. It is the fourth quarter, folks. 3 quarters of action in the books, and the Bulldogs hold a 7-6 lead against their nemesis, the St. Raphael Academy Saints in Pawtucket. 1 quarter of action to go, and the Bulldogs are on the move. Second down and about 4 yards to go from the 34-yard line of the Saints. I'll tell you, the first 8 minutes, energy-wise, 9 minutes of that third quarter, the Saints really had it. The Bulldogs had their defense pinned, really made them work. The first punt only made it to the Saint 49-yard line where their offense got set. And then the second, the Saint offense got set at the 35-yard line. And the Bulldogs defense held the Saints to 0 points. So that right there, that's championship quality defense, folks. I will tell you right now, that is championship quality defense when you can do something like that. Teams are flipping sides, and now the offense, what the defense did was give the offense enough time to get in sync, to get their stuff together, to put together the drive that you're seeing right now. It has ended the third quarter. It is starting the fourth quarter. And we are going to roll with second down and about 4 yards to go. 2 wide receivers to the near side out of the gun. And a whistle. I don't see a flag, but a whistle. Generally out of the timeout, it's just something we'll have to see. Let's see what the call on the field is. And Coach Dunbar is on the field wondering himself. I'm wondering myself. And as I thought at the beginning, coming out of a timeout, sometimes you get those magic whistles, those imaginary ones that mean nothing. They just kind of wanted to get together, and now that they've gotten together, we're going to play football again. Folks, this is it. 12 minutes. One team goes home. And he is going to roll his way up the middle and barrel his way for another Westerly first down and more. Zach Tuck, and we do have a Bulldog down. You don't want to see that unless it's a cramp, and it looks like it may be a cramp. So we got a Bulldog player being tended to. A first down on the field. They're marching with a 1-point lead in the fourth quarter of the semifinals versus St. Ray's. Now that you're in the fourth quarter, you can think revenge, folks. You can think revenge factor. You have answered the bell for 3 quarters. You have held this St. Ray's nemesis to 6 points. That third quarter, folks, for the defense to do what it was able to do for the 5th time, I'm repeating myself, and allow this offense the time it needed to put itself together, and now it's 1st and 10. The offense is moving. That is a team that is in sync. That is an organism working together, and this Bulldog team during this 6-game winning streak has been just like that, an organism working together and getting better and growing by the week. Seemingly in the second quarter, after that first Bulldog touchdown and hobbling off the field under his own power is what we like to see. Big round of applause for the Bulldogs. Number 56, a big contributor as a sophomore, Michael Barton. So the Bulldogs, all players back up on the field. And we are back up online for you, folks. That won't happen again. And here we go, Westerly rolling. Biggest drive of the season, some of these players' lives. Waiting for the snap, and it's going to go to Tuck. And he's got the edge this time. One man to get around and forced out of bounds, but he's going to get a nice gain on the play. That will stop the clock momentarily. The Bulldogs don't always want that. But it's really, to be honest, folks, I shouldn't be talking about the clock. Any coach would tell you that. There's way too much time left. It's a 1-point game. And I'm talking about the clock. I'll talk about the clock when it's under a minute. I mean, this team can throw. Wolf hasn't been 100% on, but like I said, he averages 130 yards passing a game. He's not even close to that. There's no doubt about that. But this Bulldog defense doesn't give up 130 yards a game. Williams averages just under 100 yards a game passing. Total yards, Williams has got the edge. Wolf averages 3.1 yards rushing per game. Whereas Williams' total yards are $147.6, so he averages about 30 or more. And to me, there's your difference. Here's the athleticism, and that's what you've seen in this game, and that's been a huge factor, the Williams factor. It's been huge. His athleticism, both sides of the ball, but especially at quarterback, has been a game changer. And handoff to Tuck near side up inside the tackle, and he is met by Moses Muse again. Shorter gain, if any, on that one. As a little stretch play to Tuck. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and a decent amount for the Bulldogs in St. Ray's territory here. Big play here on hand. 4th quarter action. There is 10:50 and counting left to go in this ball game, folks. Out of the gun. Gorman and Sullivan on the near side. Sullivan in motion. And he's gonna roll out far side. Looks back, nothing there. And that is nearly a turnover. Fortunately for the Bulldogs. So it's going to be definitely 3rd and long for the Bulldogs. I do believe it's 4th if that counted us down. Yeah, it should be. So that backs them up quite a bit and ends this drive's momentum, but you want to try to get yourself maybe back towards midfield, set up a punt and pin situation, see if the Bulldogs can pull that off. As far as the punt team goes, you got to be a little wary. They have blocked a punt and come very close on another occasion. They have speed. 3rd down and a long, long amount of yardage to go. This is where I don't even want to say it. You got to really think before you act if you have the ball here is what I'll say. The chant of defense on the field, the Saint fans are awakening. And 2-step drop, he's looking. And he is forced out, coming to the near side. And he's still looking, and he fires. And that is going to be out of the reach of everybody. It's picked off, but that is much like a very good punt. If they can make the tackle, I'll take it. I really will at this point. I mean, you may not have been able to get that far on a punt. Their punting game hasn't gone all that well, so you see a little bit of frustration. But you see on the Bulldogs sideline, you also see a few players clapping. Maybe because there's a flag back there. Let's see what's going on here. And that is going to be an automatic 1st down for the Bulldogs. I'm looking forward and see behind, and that is going to be a huge, maybe season-changing call, folks. Who knows? If they can turn this call into 7 points, that's those mental mistakes that you make that you can't make in huge games, and maybe that the Bulldogs have made in the past couple of years that have cost them. I don't know, but I know this one goes in favor of the Bulldogs. Regardless of yardage, a personal foul of roughing the kicker is an automatic 1st down, and their offense is back on the field. In Saint territory, and the Saints crowd is immediately quieted. I am immediately louder, and that is this game, and that's why I love it, and I love not having the voice, so call me the voice, I don't know. I got more playoff football going on Sunday, folks. Come down 1 and 3 p.m. the Pee Wee football field. Semifinal, Final Four action. And you're going to see them again in the Super Bowl at the high school on the 19th, folks. And we may very well bring it to you. Westerly.live. Here we go, Bulldogs. Offense set, up by 1. Saints territory. Huge break. Set to punt they were from about their own 40. And the Saints made what could turn into a huge mistake. Out of the gun, they're assuming Tuck. And he's going to drop back and pass. I like to call. They're going to go up the seam. And just out of the reach of an open man. He had between the defenders just up too high. And that'll make it 2nd and 10. So this Bulldog team now really, really needs to pounce or pin. Pounce or pin the Saints deep. 1 point lead, and the Saints are obviously do have a kicking game. They're not afraid to use it. I mean, that's after the Bulldog penalty when they went for that second field goal. It was only 4th and 3. I would have transitioned into an offense and given it to Muse. But they wanted to kick anyway to try for the lead. I mean, I thought that by the numbers, Muse would have been a closer. And he's going to give it to Tuck, and he's going to try to get to the edge, and he is taken down. That's nice parallel pursuit by Moses Muse, and he is covered up on the sidelines. And we have a player down again amidst the crowd. And I'm not even sure what yard line. There's too many players down, and I'm not sure what team it's on, but it looks like a Bulldog. Bulldogs inching their way to where they need to be. It's not smooth right now. These players, folks, they're putting in everything. That means their entire body. They're flying high, and They're tackling hard. They're running with everything they got, and they're getting hit with it, both sides, and that's going to lead to players getting up slower. As long as they get up, folks, that's the biggest thing. As long as they get up, and as long as they love this game more when they're done playing it. And how can you not? The emotions on the field right now, folks, I'm trying to feel them for you. It's just so intense. The ball is right now placed, if I'm counting yards, at about the 22-yard line, which that is hopefully correct. 9:09 to go in this one. Hill in the backfield, deep. And he's going to get it off the left side, looking for room inside, not much. Might have got a yard. And short of the first down. So that's going to bring up a big call here as Tuck comes in. Coach Dunbar talking to Williams. 4th down and 2 yards to go from the 22-yard line. 7-6 lead. Semifinal playoff round. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. Loser goes home. 4th quarter, 8:38, high school football, Friday afternoon. Tell me, folks, what gets better than this? You have a number of players here putting everything they humanly have on the line for each other in harmony. Here we go. Motion. Gorman, near side, Y side. Coming here. Tuck, looking for a way to tuck in. And he rolls off the first one, but I don't know. We're going to have to see the spot. He crossed the line. I think he's looking. There's not much confidence on this Bulldog side. I'm looking based on emotion. Let's see what happens. Waiting for the signal. I want to get the official. They're looking. I don't know. And it's a first down. Move the clock. If you're a Bulldog, you're a happy dog right now. 1st and 10 from just inside the 20-yard line. 7:41 to go. Folks, if you're a Bulldog, this is your chance to bite, lock jaw, don't let go, and hang on to redemption. This is the redemption tour right here for the Bulldogs. Here and now, 7.5 to go, 1-point lead in the red zone. Can you finish? This sport is about finishing. And the option again, he keeps it. He likes it up the middle with it. Still on his feet. Look at this guy go. All the way up to near the 10-yard line. Lance Williams, I didn't see a lot of room. He doesn't require a lot of room. And if you see him off the field, folks, you would have no idea that he can drag 6 big human beings across the field for 10 yards. And the nose of the ball outside the 10. They need about 4 yards for the first down, a short 4. 2nd and a short 4, and then that'll set them up with a something and goal. Hopefully here. Aldrich in the backfield in front of Tuck. Under center, and we have a whistle. And you hear the frustration on my end, unless it's maybe a timeout. And that's on the Bulldogs. That's going to back them up. Mental mistakes, not good. But they have to be dealt with, and right back to the line they go. They're quickly back, quickly over it. I like that. Seems like they're going to run the same play. Motion he goes. Ball hits the ground, and I think they lost it. They did, folks. St. Ray's has stolen the ball. Hit the ground off the transfer. Williams unable to scoop it back up, and the first turnover of the day. Bulldogs were moving in the red zone for the Saints, and the Saints snatch it and have it 1st and 10. They got a long way to go, folks. It's at the 18. There's 6.5 to go, and they have a kicker. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. 7-6 Bulldogs, 6.5 to go. This defense has done it all night long. They know what's on the line, and they're fully capable. I don't see this Saint team really trying to introduce much of a run. I see a lot of 7-yard cutting, inside routes, and they're going to try that one down the seam against Williams. Looking for motion, already confusion. And he's looking to the far side. He's going to go deep down the far sideline. And he's got a man! And momentum stolen back, and that is the biggest play of the day. Number 17 for St. Ray's, the captain, Connor Curran, chips in for the first time up the hash. And over 2 defenders behind him. No defenders behind him. And this time they hand it off. Julius with room, and this is the Saints offense. There's 12 more. When they can run and they can throw, they can go. And the Bulldogs got to put a stop to it quick. And they have the cramp. Number 1, Rextus on the ground. Could be the best thing that's happened for the Bulldogs if he requires a couple minutes of attention here to give the Bulldogs an opportunity to take a deep breath and get over themselves here and remember what's on the line and what kind of team they are and what they've put into today. No better time for a cramp. I would never say that about an injury, but a simple cramp, no better timing for one. The Saints, you are definitely, that's the offense they've run all year. Quick hit up with a run, no huddle, quick hit with a pass, quick hit with a run, back and forth. The Bulldogs have stymied that all day long. Well, right now, turnover, bang, bang. So the Bulldogs have with a chance now to answer. They've had a chance to communicate whatever defense they've wanted in. Their uninjured player is now off the field. He'll be back after a play. It is 2nd and 1 at the 34-yard line for the Saints. And Julius has it, flag on the play, and that's going to be whistled dead. And man, it's encroachment on the Bulldogs. They have done, oh boy, they're doing everything right now, folks, not the right way. 5 yards, first down, and marches on. This is something that they're going to have to settle on the field here, folks. I'm telling you, the intensity is growing, as is the confidence of this team in purple. One thing they have had a difficult time doing is getting it across that red line. They've scored a lot of points this season, but not as many as the Bulldogs. The differential is not the same as the Bulldogs. They're averaging 273 yards a game for the Bulldogs, 279 for the Saints. Everything is within 3, 6, 9, 10 yards of each other. This game is in 1 point of each other. And just a couple minutes ago on the clock, folks, the Bulldogs had the ball in the red zone of the Saints. That is football. That is why it's not just, I don't know, in my mind, some sport. It is an absolute passion. The blood, the sweat, and the tears are real. The elation is unparalleled. This is a confident group on both sides. But when you start to make mental mistakes, that's when the games of yore, like last year and the year before for whoever is here again, those pop into your mind and you start getting these quick flashbacks, these blips. Oh no, not again. Oh no, not again. So you don't want to let yourself too far into that situation. I mean, they have the ball back at, where are they at here? The 30-yard line. And they don't have someone who can put it up 47 yards. But much more here, another first down or so, and you're starting to get within the range, I would imagine, of the kicker for the Saints as they get back in their huddle. 1st and 10 from the 30 for the Saints, and now we will get set. And we are down here, 5:45 to go in the 4th. This game has been controlled by the Bulldogs. They've answered the task when necessary. They have been pressured by the Saints. Handoff and a patient. Julius spins his way out on his feet, breaking tackles. All behind the patience, letting his blocks occur. down to the second line of defense, and he just rolled and spun his way to another first down in the red zone. Here we go. They're on the ball, out of the gun. Could be a quick pass. Watch out. No, Irvin again. Cuts back. Not much room this time. McLeod gets a piece of him. Gorman was all over him. So they don't answer the second time. It is 1st and 10. They are in the red zone. Bulldogs need a big player to make a big play because this is the big time. Big time players make big time plays in the big time. Here it is, folks. Winner to the show. 3 Bulldog teams trying to go to the Super Bowl this week, folks. The high school team, the micros, and the senior and Pee Wee football team, all trying to get to the show. Right here and now, this is the epitome of it all. All of that grows into this. It doesn't get better than this. A 1-point game, 4.5 to go. And the blitz in, he hit that spot, but he's able to sneak through for some nice yardage. The Bulldog defense did attack that gap. They were still able to create some space. 3rd down and short. They're in kicking distance. We have excitement coming in the next 2 plays here, folks. And there's 4.5 to go, and St. Ray's is going to call a timeout. Folks, leave this timeout up to your imagination. What is going to happen in these huddles? Because I'm going to take a quick break and let you.
Let's go! I'm yelling at this side of the team. Something big happened, but I just don't want to.
That was a nice one. They threw a sideline down because they kept shut up. They threw the flag. That's it. The kids were yelling. Yeah, kids and the coaches were both yelling.
That would be an automatic first down for us.
They throw the flag sometimes. It's usually a 15-yard or plus than
And we are off, folks. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio. This is football at its best. High school semifinals, winner to the Super Bowl, 7-6. St. Ray's has it out of the gun. They're going to hand it off to Julius. He's going to break to the outside. He's got room. He's got a gap. He's heading lean into the end zone. And it is down just shy of the end zone. 1st and goal from inches away. The Bulldogs possibly better off if they had just gotten in time-wise. And the Saints are poised to take their first lead of the game. More than enough time left. Quarterback sneak by Wolf. I don't think he got anything, but he got enough for the score. And St. Ray's has taken the lead. It is 12-7. And now it is time for this Bulldog team to separate itself from the past 2 Bulldog teams. And when you're a high school football player, and when you're a football team, you want to leave your mark. You want to leave your identity. Well, boys, young men, this is your chance. This is your time. You have 4 minutes to shine. You held control all game long, and now adversity has touched against you. It is time to answer the bell. Fully capable. This defense, this extra point, obviously huge. Hand off to Julius. He's wrapped up from behind. Is he going to get the push? He might at the end. They're letting him push a lot. And I don't know if he did. I don't think he did. And that's got to be no way. No, not even close. So the Bulldogs with a huge stop, folks. That is a huge stop on the extra point. That right there, they should be running off the field excited. A touchdown separates these 2 teams. Less than a touchdown. Less than a touchdown and an extra point. The Bulldogs can score and even miss the extra point, and they'll have the lead. You got to look at the positives. There's always a positive somewhere in a pile of, you know what I mean? So it's 12-7. Things went backwards. We went from their red zone to our red zone. We all know what just happened. But it happened and it's over. 4:13 on the clock. 4th quarter, this Bulldogs team is full of athletes, is full of leaders. They have game time game winners, game changers, and it's time they all come together right here. It's not time to get nervous. They've been here before 2 years in a row. They know how to not win the game. So this is when you make all the adjustments to actually win the game. This is adversity at its best, folks, and this is why we love and play football. Set the kick. The Saints with a 12-7 lead, their first lead of the day. And the kick, a squib-style kick, it's live. High bounce to the back line, and Nevea has it, and he's going to try to get to the far side, and he is going to get wrapped up from behind, and no flag as he is swung out of bounds. Near the 30-yard line. Didn't get quite inside the horse collar, kept his hand outside, so that'd be pretty legal, I would have to say. So the Bulldogs are going to set up camp, and there's an injury on the play, and that is the returner for the Bulldogs, du jour, who is helped up. And the Bulldogs now offensively ready to get started here at their own 30-yard line. 4 minutes to go. Whoever went there and paid for admission got their money's worth. Whoever's watching here got your money's worth, folks. I promise you that. Trips to the far side. Tuck in the backfield and a whistle to stop things. And we have an equipment situation, and we're going to need a substitution. So the one play out, one play in. Bozek will sub in. Getting some final instructions, Gorman. Bulldog offense was moving pretty well in the last drive. Let's see how they do here. Trips to the wide side. Two-step drop, looks nothing there, flushed out. And he throws low, got his man, number 3, for a gain of 8 yards. Throws where only his man can get it, and that would have been Luke Nelson, the junior, number 1 target, and that's a 9-yard gain. Nice play after being flushed out. There's a flag in the backfield again, like always, it seems, and this is not the time here. Not the time. What will the call be? Don't see too many excited Bulldogs. It's going to be a hold more than likely. And that's a spot foul, so that can bring you back infinitely. You have no idea. That's 10 yards from the spot. And it is, in fact, a hold on the Bulldogs. And the Bulldog team, who played such a clean game up till now, when you go to penalties and turnovers, they had no turnovers. They had a couple penalties, scarce, scattered. When you can't remember because there's so few how many, you're doing a good job. And just that turnover and since, and there's just been some key ones at the wrong times here, the Bulldogs. Plenty of time, plenty of space. Seasoned veterans, they've been in this season-ending position before. 2 backs in the backfield. Fazaro along with Tuck, different look. Motion. He's going to have that belly route, and he's going to look over. Not there. It looks like a screen. He's got it, but nobody accounting for number 17 of St. Ray's, and that is going to be the captain, Connor Curran, the senior. And this team, the St. Ray's team, is gaining confidence by the play, by the hit. I will tell you that. And frustration gained on the other end, and Tuck gingerly getting his way back to the huddle. They have powered. They have given everything, their bodies, to this game. This one game, folks. The study all week, the practice, everything. And they almost gave up the lead at the end of the first half. And to have more or less given it up in the third quarter, I mean, they were just by a few avoidable things, and then maybe a couple unavoidable, but I think the avoidable things outweighed the unavoidable ones. Out of the gun. Needs some yardage here. And he's looking near side, not there. Again, he steps up. He's wrapped up. He's going down. In the backfield, nothing working here for Westerly and the Saints. Now the clock has become their friends. The fans are on their feet. And this Paris South Field has become their home again. 3.5 minutes to go. And the Bulldogs are in deep, deep territory. I'll use that T word for the moment. I can't emphasize the work that this Westerly team and these teams put into even a single game like this, let alone a season, and the ability to need a 6-game winning streak to earn your way to this game, and that's what Westerly needed to do. They needed to win 6 weeks in a row to earn a ticket to this one, and then they held the lead in this one for the entirety of the game almost. Back to pass, and he had time this time to go down the side. There's nothing there. Nobody there, double coverage, and he had time to wait a couple, let it develop. He's not used to having that time. Number 55, Bing, who I've noticed over pursues a great deal, but he's only a sophomore. But he is a rocket. He's a jet that gets in. And this St. Ray's team has always been verbal when they're winning. And that's not anything fun that you want to deal with. But here we go. If you're the Bulldogs, you are getting down to something creative. 2:47 to go. 12-7 to score at Paris Outfield. And trying to figure out exactly what we're doing. Stacked up on the far side. Oh, first thing is he needs time. He flushes out. He doesn't have a lot of it. He's avoiding 4 guys on his feet. Does he have room? He's avoided now 5 guys. 6 guys, takes him down 7, still on his feet. And he's still going forward. 8 guys had to take him down. That is absolutely ridiculous. I counted as he went, and the 8th man took him down. He's already 2 ahead. Or 4 ahead, who knows? He missed that guy, then he's got hit by both of them. 2 more come in, still not done with it, still gaining yards, and it took that one. That is just absolute heart, desire, and no quit attitude on the part of Lance Williams. His team has put their heart and soul on the field. The Saints have the ball here with 2:28 to go in the 4th. I don't know how to paint a rosy picture on this. There is a flag on the play. Dead ball flag. Folks, first thing I want to say is that the effort on this team has been just unbelievable. They've had a great year. They've grown as a team, and they've been leaderships in the community, as well as down at the Pee Wee field. I spent a lot of time down there, and the players go down there and spend time with the kids. They really do represent the football team in the most upstanding way possible, and just the effort they have put out on the field. I'm not with them every day at practice. I'm friends with some of the coaches, and they just give me an idea of the effort put forth. And I know the effort that it's required to win a Super Bowl, and I've walked off the field having lost a Super Bowl, so I know both ends of the effort required. And I'll tell you what, you can lose and give 120%, and that's been the case the past 2 years. And we'll see what the Bulldogs end up with here, because that penalty was a personal foul against the Bulldogs, and that put them back with their backs against the wall. And it's a handoff right up the middle, and he is going to roll his way down to about the 7-yard line and let time tick. So as I was saying, this Bulldog team deserves nothing but praise. I mean, a lot of these athletes, believe it or not, have to take a shower, transition, and they hit the hardwood and they're shooting hoops next week. And they got to wipe off their backs and move on. But some of them will be playing next year at another place, and we'll be telling you all about them. And then some of the younger ones just continue to grow the group. Another flag on the field. There is 1:54 to go here in the 4th quarter. Of what a tough game to swallow at the moment if you're a Bulldog. There's 2:26 to go, folks, and anything can happen. Seems like every flag right now is just not working in the way of the Bulldogs, and there's been a lot of them. See what the call is here. First 3 quarters, the Bulldogs were very minimally penalized, folks. Minimally penalized, heavily in the 4th. And we got Terrell Hill coming off the field with his helmet off. chippy crowd on hand, which would be expected. Any game like this, our crowd would be the same way. Coach Dunbar doesn't like it, wants to know why. Hill had to come out, clearly. Something to do with him. Holding is the call on the defense again. So that'll just move him forward another couple yards if you're the Saints. And the energy's been popped out of the balloon, folks. They're not even allowing this final drive to move along. I mean, a fumble can happen in the blink of an eye. Folks, a fumble and a return can happen in the blink of an eye. The Saints have to run plays here. They have to get it in the end zone. And you showed all day that this is a beatable team. You played on the field with them all day long. Yes, energy and momentum might be on their side, but maybe not across the chin of every Bulldog player. We need one Bulldog player, that's it, to make one play at the right time. Well, that right time's right now. It's first and goal from about the 3.5. It takes that helmet or that hand going into the right spot of the running back, or maybe that snap that drops to the ground. Folks, the Bulldogs won the turnover. Couldn't have come at a worse time. It really couldn't have. And back to the line, the Saints. Bulldogs need a stop. They are alive. Handoff up the middle, and he's in. With not much of a problem, they get into the end zone. And this is a Saints team that was down on themselves. They really were. The fans were quiet. They were quiet, but they're quick to get back up. And now have taken what one would think is pretty good control. It's an 11-point game. Technically 2 possessions. Pending this kick that would officially make it 3. It's 2 possessions a hard way, 8-3. 2:22 to go. I'm a realist, folks. That's why I'm not on the field over live on the field. And the Bulldogs have a tough task ahead of them. As you can see, the fans are happy, and one of the worst things to walk off this field is to hear them play that song. Set to kick. And the hold, late kick up and good. That makes it 19 for the Saints, 7 for the Bulldogs, 12-point game. 2-possession game. The hard way, though, you got to get in the end zone, both of them. Things broke real bad for the Bulldogs when that snap hit the ground, and they seemed to have their backs against the wall for most of the second half, but they answered the call. They really did. They bent, but they didn't really break. They gave up that 1 second half score, but they were hanging in tight with that, and they were even driving in the red zone with a chance to take the lead back, and everything kind of flip-flopped and went haywire on them. This has been a fantastic season for the Bulldogs. It truly has. I know they're not going to say that. They're not going to say that they're happy with it. This is going to be, if it ends as is, 3 years in a row, this field and this team. And fortunately for me, my memory of this team goes the other end, and that's good, but I know the feeling of the memory of another. And it's going to take a little bit to swallow. It sure does. Like I said, a lot of these players are multi-sport athletes. You'll hear us broadcasting them on the hardwood probably within a couple of weeks when the season starts. They're going to take the court after a day or two. And the return by number 14 for the Bulldogs, Griffin Aldrich, the senior linebacker. And a quick offense is going to have to work here for the Bulldogs. Really, really quick. Really time-wise, mathematically, timeout-wise, it would take the perfect storm. But that is why we play the game. And if this game didn't go the way you thought, the way you wanted, which more than likely most of our viewers, it did not, and you haven't gotten your fair share of football, I promise you will on Sunday at the Pee Wee football field at 1 and 3. At 3 o'clock, the seniors will be taking on the Stonington Bears for a trip to the Super Bowl. At 1 o'clock, the perfectly unbeaten 11-0 Micros will be taking on the Groton Mystic Falcons for a trip to their Super Bowl semifinals. And the following week, the Super Bowl will be at the high school. And we very well may bring it to you, folks. All right, so that pass complete. Just shy of the first down. And he's looking. He's got to go quick, flush forward, and going to go down from behind. And that keeps the clock rolling. So this is a tough defensive team. The Saints, they gave up that touchdown to the Bulldogs after a nice drive, and the Bulldogs drove the ball. They really did. They drove the ball up and down the field, total yardage. I don't know what it is, but I know they're not back. They're not behind. Time of possession, they have the advantage, and they just weren't able to get it in. The mistakes came at the wrong points. Tough run for Williams. Gets his first down out of it. Turns the corner. There's no quitting him for certain. Gets out of bounds. That'll move the chains. But total yardage, I bet, is in favor of the Bulldogs. Time of possession's in favor of the Bulldogs. Unfortunately, this sport's got that just mystical element to it. And it's just that emotional pull, that twists and turns that turn into things. And they went the way of St. Ray's. Unfortunately, that turnover was at the worst time possible. There's never a good time, but there is really bad times. So the Bulldogs set up 1st and 10 from the 46. Trips near side. He's going to roll near side. Throws, short, complete. Fazaro around the corner and out of bounds he goes. Again, the junior, Fazaro, takes part, who has had such a great junior season and even better playoffs. He's stepped up his game in the postseason, number 33, Eric Fazaro, to a completely different level. He really did. He became an invaluable asset to both sides of the ball for this Bulldog team as the season went on, and his play has just continued to get better. Defensively, you saw it tonight. You've seen the interceptions. I think, what was it, Cranston East? He had a couple throughout the year, and just a great defense over the top, slapping the ball away, blanketing offense, receiving yards, rushing yards. He does a lot. He blocks, got emotions. Quick throw near side. Had to pump and hold, though. And they're working their way down the field well. That's the Bozak. If you need to work your way down the field in a 2-minute drive, they're doing a heck of a job. Unfortunately, the Saints are playing back a few yards and letting them do it because there's only 51. There's a $1 left in this one. And it's going to take a quick score, an onside kick, and then another quick score. Bulldogs break the huddle here. First down marker at the 9. Seem to be drawing up routes on the fly. Roll quick, pump, nothing there. Again, he's got his man, he hits him, but he can't roll out of bounds. That's Gorman. Nice diving catch. And again, they're rolling their way down the field well. A few yards to chunk. Second and 1. They got to score like this play because there's just too much time. I will not quit. Well, that watch is making me sweat. And up from behind, and do you have a timeout? He's reaching forward. Do we have a timeout? And we do. Westerly calls a timeout with 26 ticks on the clock, folks. And what a game, what a season. I'm not going to say anything yet. There's 26 seconds to go, and I do believe we have all seen bigger comebacks than this, miracle finishes. And this really wouldn't require a miracle. It would require a regular old touchdown here and a regular old onside kick, however regular that may be, and then another quick touchdown. So that would be what I would call a fortunate turn of events, more so than a miracle. So the Bulldogs are still alive in my book. 26 seconds. They have played one heck of a game. I know the proverbial saying, keep your head up, men, keep your head up, men. I hated that. I hated it. This team has played with, they've carried themselves with dignity as football players. They really have. Both up here, down, the ones that come down and help out and show their faces down at the Pee Wee field, as well as in the community, and that's a take on their coaching. The coaches create the men, and they created a dominant force. A couple tough plays are the difference in this, if you ask me. If you ask me, 2 plays change this entire game. And the throw, batted down. Moses Muse excited. And time is ticking down to 23. So it's 4th down for the Bulldogs. And if this 23 seconds does tick off quickly, folks, I'm going to tick off quickly afterwards because I can't stand to listen to or watch the Saints march off to their song. And I know the players on the field hate it even more. But it has been just a pleasure to cover such a great team. And it's a tuck, it's a draw. And he's going to take care of things himself. And he's going to get all the way up. Did he get in? I think I'll mark him down at the 1. Of course they are. The athlete Williams will not finish this season without giving every ounce of his effort in his body. And they're going to put the clock back at 17, but they marked him down. He didn't reach across the extra foot, I suppose, which just takes more time off the clock. But, man, what a tribute to him. There wasn't much room there, and he knew. And he runs hard, boy. Does he run hard. Game-changing abilities. And they are very, very close to the goal line now. I don't know what St. Ray's is doing. Oh, there's timeout on the field. Of course there is. 17 seconds to go. I should realize that. So the Bulldogs, I mean, their course of actions, clear, score, get an extra point, get an onside kick, score again. The caveat is the 17 seconds remaining. Winner moves on. Cranston West, Portsmouth. That gets going at 7 p.m. depending on the weather. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Westerly girls soccer team, who has earned their spot in the state championship game. So everybody should give them a, I guess, a cyber or a whatever round of applause. They've had a fabulous season. I think they're something like 14-1 with the playoffs. Under center is Williams, trying to get that extra foot. Gorman in motion. Power towards the right. And that's where they're going to go. They're going to pitch it 5 yards back to try to get 1 yard forward. And he rolls on top of people in the end zone. He should have gotten the credit for rolling in. And they're going to mark him down. He did not touch the ground. And they line back up. I thought he rolled over on the defender. We don't even have time to show it to you again. And, he stood up. He's not going to get in. And the Saints take over, and that's it for this one, folks. What a game, what a game, what a season. I hate to say it that way, but what a season, folks. I am the voice, Greg Morano, along with owner, producer, Shane Belanger. We have Lisa Ann True behind the lens. And yes, folks, I sound deflated. I am deflated. I'm deflated for these guys. I've gotten to know these guys now. We've done this a couple seasons in a row, and the more we go, the more I know them. And I know the effort that football requires. Not that all sports don't, but the blood, sweat, and tears, they say, that goes into it, they really do. These players have bonds that'll last a lifetime, and they have, like I said, they've represented Westerly in such a fantastic fashion. That winning streak shows a lot more than just football. It shows what kind of men these guys are and how they carry themselves on and off the field. So to the coaching staff and to the team, I want to say a thank you, because you have just put forth such a great product. It's just such an entertaining product and such a good group of young men. Good luck to the graduates, and to the rest of y'all, I'm going to see you guys next year for certain. And as far as Westerly.live, Westerly.radio goes, stay tuned. We might have a surprise showing of the Pee Wee Super Bowl for you next Saturday.
Westerly Varsity in Division 2 championship game.